What is up, everybody? Alright. Let's see if we can get any capital invasions. Not a promising start. But, yeah, they announced the DLC finally. Although, well, I guess they'd already announced it, but they showed it. And they gave us a release date, but it's not for quite a while. I think it's, what, like 3.5 months? Something like that. So, yeah, we got quite a wait. Big pots, yeah, so, I guess I'll just get into it. I mean, I may have to repeat myself because there's hardly anyone in chat yet, but honestly, I did not really like the trailer that much, but what I did like about it were just like the new armor and weapons and stuff, which, to be honest, that's what I'm mostly looking forward to in a DLC anyway, because I you know, care about the PvP, but like, it was almost entirely reused tile sets. Like, almost every environment was just a reused tile set. And almost all the enemies were just, like, all altered versions, or, like, very similar to things in the base game. Like, you had not Wormface, you had, like, not Fire Giant, right? There was just a lot of that. But, I mean, that's not that important to me. Like, I really do just want fun new weapons and fun armor and, you know, that kind of thing. But, like, there was nothing in the trailer that I really gave a shit about. Like, they didn't say, hey, we're... Like they did with Scholar of the First Sin, they were like, hey, we're making the multiplayer, you know, limit 6 players instead of 4. They didn't do that. Which everyone wants that, though. They didn't announce covenants, you know, anything. It's just, like, generic stuff and then, like, all reused tile sets for the most part. So, however, some of the new weapons and stuff, obviously, I think are interesting. And whatnot. So I mean that's the good shit. And we're not getting invasions here. I might just bring up the trailer here and like show what I'm talking about. But yeah, the overall like aesthetic of the DLC, I don't like at all, to be honest. Like I said, it's kind of just feels very hodgepodge. It feels very samey to what's in the base game, and with bad lighting. The trailer to me felt like, hey, look, we're like remixing the base game essentially, and putting in Shadow, you know, land. But then the lighting is really bad. Like, I hated the lighting. It literally just looks like Elden Ring, except now the lighting sucks to, like, make it look like it's not reused content. Like, that's very much how I see it. It's like, it's a lot of reused, like, tile sets, which is not the end of the world, but then they're just, like... They're just, like, twinking the lighting to make it, look different, but it's not really different. For some reason, the button that normally lets you expand to win... There we go. I know how to YouTube. Let's see here. So yeah, we're obviously gonna go in to the DLC here, which I think a lot of people thought that was gonna be the case. So you're gonna have to beat Moog. So that'll be fun. Now this environment right here, I kind of like, even though, you know, it kind of just looks like Limgrave with this, these spirit things everywhere. But, this is pretty cool. You know, it's more like typical fantasy setting, but that's fine with me. But there's like, look, this just looks like Limgrave with this shitty lighting, right? Like, it's just like Limgrave, but now it's really depressing. I'm not super interested in it. And like, you can literally see, like, these buildings and stuff are just things that we've got in, like, outside the capital and things like that. Which, yeah, again, that's not the end of the world. But, there's not a lot to get excited about here for me, like, in terms of, like, the environments. I mean, this looks like the bridge, you know, to the Divine Towers and stuff. Like, outside Stormvale, and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of think they're doing this on purpose. I think it's kind of like, you know, Mikola Shadow stuff, you know, trying to, like, mimic the lands between, kind of like how he made the tree that, you know, mimics the Urge tree. I might just kill the volume here. I don't care about the dialogue. Cool, like, armor set there, though. But yeah, I mean, like, Jesus, look, those are, I'm pretty sure that you literally have all these, like, assets already, like, in the second legacy dungeon and things like that. Like those, lanterns and all that. And again, that's not the end of the world. But, like, this just looks like the place where you get the Valkyrie arm, except it's even shittier. And then, like, this just is gonna be like a generic cave, most likely. This just looks like the tomb where you fight the wolf, right? And you get Rykard's knight armor set and all that. And it's probably a more generic dungeon, so that's not a big deal. You know, this obviously looks a lot like the capital. You know, not fire giant. Although he's kind of cool because you got like corpses in there and stuff. So, and then, you know, not worm face. And this is kind of like reverse Godfrey kind of, like, I know there's multiple people in there, but that's pretty different. That's kind of like Chinese dragon. That is kind of interesting. But like none of these environments, it's like another Snake Lord guy against the gods, you know, not Rykard. There's just so much of that, and I'm just like, this is not that interesting. Now this is the part I care about, because this is where they show off some like weapons and stuff. This is like dual scimitars here, it looks like, with some kind of unique weapon art. I bet you that goes through block and stuff like that. That'll be interesting in PvP. Like, that seems to go really far, so and it's pretty fast. This looks like a weapon that is throwing daggers, right? Because if you look, he's like holding them. So this is not a consumable, right? And so they said in an interview there's 8 new weapon types, and I suspect this is a new weapon type where you're like holding throwing weapons, because he's basically restocking throwing daggers here. So that's pretty interesting. You can see he's restocking them, but it's like an actual weapon he's holding, so I don't think it's a consumable. Now it could be a new consumable. Yeah, we'll talk about the kick thing in a second, but it could be a consumable, and as you throw it, it just shows it in his hand like that. So it could be a new consumable. Instead of like the kukri and the throwing daggers and the bone dagger, there's like dual daggers that you throw. So it could just be a consumable. But like, people were saying, how is this a weapon? They thought maybe it's a spell, because he's holding no weapon. But I actually think this is a weapon, and I think the weapon is the white stuff. Now it could be a spell. This could be some like faith spell that like, you know, temporarily augments your ability to use martial arts or some bullshit. But I suspect this is one of the new weapons. And it's basically something you equip that's this glowy stuff, and it makes like all your attacks kicky stuff, which that's pretty sick. And then this guy is one of, you know, obviously this is very similar to the Godric Knight armor and the, you know, all the Knight armors that we've got that are based on the regions and stuff. But you know, I'll take more medieval armor, but it's like not exactly that different there. And this is either a consumable that's just crazy, or this is one of the 8 new weapon types that's like some kind of thrown weapon that you restock automatically. But this could be a consumable, or it could be an environmental thing that you can interact with. But yeah, it could be a consumable, it could be a new weapon type. It's obviously using the giant throw animation, but this could be interesting. Now, this right here, chat, I'm not joking, and anyone that knows me knows I'm not joking. This is the most important part of the entire trailer, because this guy has an axe. And that's a new axe. Now, it's a double-bladed axe, which those aren't really even that real. They're kind of fantasy bullshit, and they don't make any sense. But I'll take what I can get. And it's not going to be enemy only. They're probably going to drop these shields. And yeah, these are like seeming kind of like fantasy Viking, so with the kind of round shields and these helmets and stuff. I think that's what they're going for. It looks like there's maybe a spear or a pike here as well. Kind of hard to see. Now, I'm not kidding, chat. I'm not kidding. This looks like the open world, right? This doesn't look like a dungeon. Now, it does look like it's on an elevated platform, so this may be a difficult place to get to. But when the DLC drops, I am just going to run around, and I am going to try to find this enemy and get this fucking axe, because I care about axes. And I suspect, because this looks like a really vanilla axe, but so they're not going to add a vanilla axe like this that just has the same moveset, because why would you? We already have an S scaling, unless it's Dex, right? Unless this thing's a Dex scaling axe, what purpose would this serve, right? We already have an S scaling strength axe and some quality axes. So, and it doesn't really look like a Dex weapon. So why would they add just another normal ass axe that has a normal ass moveset? So I'm guessing it might have like a new R2, right? Like how you've got some fancy R2s in the Ring and City and stuff. I suspect this is a kind of a normal ass axe, but they probably gave it some kind of unique you know, R2 or weapon art. Yeah, I don't think it's a sleep axe. These guys look so normal. I wouldn't expect that. But let's see if I can get a better picture here of. Yeah, this looks like a new spear or pike or something, and I'm not sure about this other guy. The guy with the axe is kind of in the way, so he might just be another axe. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. But yeah, there's no way to know if this is a consumable item. I kind of suspect it is, but it, like 8 new weapon types, they might do some funky shit. I don't think we're gonna be able to tell. If like one frame, you can kind of see it between that guy's legs. Maybe if I slow the video down or something, I might be able to get it. No, that's another axe. You can see it. These two are both using axes. Yeah, you can see it clearly there. But yeah, this right here is definitely what I'm most looking forward to. Kind of weird helmet going on here. It's hard to tell what exactly is happening there. But yeah, I'm not kidding. That's my favorite part of the trailer, is just seeing a new axe. Now, this armor set looks pretty sick. You got like this, like gated helmet. The only issue I see here is I kind of suspect this armor set is not going to mix and match very well with other armor sets. Just due to the kind of like the how bulky the chest is and everything. I don't think you're going to be able to mix and match this too much. But this is a cool armor set. And it's probably a heavy set, but not as heavy as Bull Goat. And that's normally pretty cool for like the meta. So yeah, I like it. It's a cool armor set. You can probably take the cape off. This is obviously like a reskin of the Dragon Roar, so not too interesting there. It's a bear though. This person doesn't follow the laws of physics with how your neck is supposed to work. I think those are just the dual swords we saw before. This is obviously a reskin of a Tree Sentinel, except it's a giant boar now. But the weapon could be cool. It looks like a spear sword, more spear than sword, but probably a big ass one. This is they kind of remind me with the way they're running there of the Dark Souls 3 enemies, the Pontiff guys. They like pray if you fuck them up. And then they've got like some faith stuff. That guy's unique as hell. This guy's unique as hell. Also disgusting. But yeah, the axe is what I care about. But yeah, the environments are not, they're just so like same-o tile sets. It's a lot of reused stuff and whatnot, so I'm not too interested in that. More Crucible stuff. There's actually a lot of Crucible stuff throughout this video, which makes sense because it's supposed to be like wherever America started, and then I guess Miquella's taken over or something. So it kind of makes sense if there's a lot of Crucible stuff. But yeah, the weapons are what I care about. The armor is what I care about. However, there are no armor sets in that I like super like. There really aren't. Some of the weapons I'm really excited for, but none of those armor sets I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. Like there was 2 kind of normal medieval looking armor sets, but they weren't really my style, and I don't mind them, but I'm not really excited to use them either. But yeah, the environments, honestly, I don't like the environments at all. I'm just gonna be honest. They just look like normal Elden Ring stuff, but now with annoying lighting. Like, I don't need Elden Ring with bad lighting. I really don't need that in my life. No. Like, I like the regular aesthetic in Elden Ring more than what I saw in that DLC. Now, we'll see, right? Things might change. Man, we are not getting invasions out here. Let's try lower level. But well, it's also possible that just for the trailer, they're kind of like taking the footage at weird times of day, so like the sun is setting, right, and that kind of stuff. So that may not be what the game looks like, or the DLC looks like for a lot of the time. But yeah, I really did not, and I don't like the environments very much. Like, it's just Elden Ring, but dim. And really, it just seems kind of whatever. Like, again, they didn't show off, like, hey, we're making the multiplayer a limit 6 again. And we got covenants. You know, they didn't do any of that. That's really what I want. And like, yeah, people are welcome to have their opinions, because people are like, well, I don't care about that. Well, I mean, that's fine. You don't have to care about that, but I do. You know, I want covenants. I want better multiplayer, and that kind of thing. And we're really not seeing that. It's kind of just stuff, and from the base game, kind of, but with different lighting, right? I'm just hard to be excited for that. Now, to be fair, it doesn't come out for a while. And sometimes they put out kind of more generic trailers like that, and then closer to launch, they're like, look at these new features, right? They've absolutely done that before. So we'll see. I mean, it's totally possible they're going to announce other stuff. And I'm sure there's a bunch of biomes. Well, actually, apparently in an interview, Miyazaki said the DLC is a bit bigger than Limgrave. So it's not really that big, like, if that's the case. So I can't imagine there's a bunch of different biomes, because you can't fit like 6 biomes in Limgrave without each biome being tiny, right? So I'm not expecting a whole lot of like aesthetics that we didn't see in the trailer. Yeah, he didn't say with the underground or not. Not really clear. I don't know if he considers this part of Limgrave or not. But what he basically said in a interview was the DLC is a bit bigger than Limgrave, right? So, yeah, from what else he said, I think it's gonna be more packed, right? Like it's gonna have more dungeons in it than Limgrave does, and things like that. So that's not a big deal. I'm more of a quality over quantity guy anyway. So if it's, you know, like a lot of stuff could still be awesome about this DLC, like, but there's no way to know from the trailer, right? And I think a lot of people are just assuming this, that, and the other. But it's like, if the enemy placements are good, if the enemy designs are good, if the pacing is good, if the dungeons are good, right? Obviously, I'm going to enjoy the DLC, but we don't know any of those things yet. Yeah, he did say there's a new Poison Swamp. Which, I mean, you can see it in the trailer, so. My internet is death. Damn, that sucks, dude. Alright, I have not played Elden Ring in a little while, to be honest, so we'll see how we do here. Kind of sad I couldn't get any capital invasions, but... Dude, PC is kind of just not it when it comes to Elden Ring invasions. They're not as active. I have a feeling this is going to be gankers. Normally, people out here are doing tomfoolery. Sometimes it's just people playing through the game, though. This guy's also getting his ass kicked. My man. He's not gonna fight them, is he? He's not gonna try to take the camp on by himself. Well, if he's just gonna run away, I guess I gotta put him down. I was gonna just watch, but, well, maybe he'll fight. No, this guy does not look like a fighter. A little laggy. When it says laggy, I might want to use a status effect that it does damage. Holy shit, we got some lag. Not that axes are good for chasing people down, but I mean, if you get the status effect, it's good enough. Oh, okay, well that works too. Yeah, I would have let him just fight the mobs, but I'm not gonna just sit there watching him run away from the mobs, so. But yeah, when the DLC comes out, I'm getting that axe. That's definitely what I care about the most. And hopefully they just buff axes, like make the R1 have more momentum and that kind of thing. I mean, I always say you either give it more momentum or you make the hitbox like linger like an extra frame or so. That's why it's so hard to roll catch, is because it's kind of, axes are slow enough that you can reaction them pretty easily, and then they don't have any kind of like lingering hitbox. Like their active frames are quite short, so they don't roll catch very good. And with how laggy Elden Ring netcode is, like having good roll catch is really important. Did they announce the price? I didn't look. What did they announce the price? I would expect it to be like $30. That seems fair to me. It's on Steam already. You can pre-order. Well, how much is it? Because if it's like, I will say, if it's like 60 bucks or 40 bucks, I think that's too much. Especially if it's just Limgrave size, like. But I didn't look. 40? Yeah. I can see people complaining about that. I actually kind of agree. Like, with Miyazaki saying it's about the size of Limgrave, so that's like a fourth or a sixth of the game, and then that you're almost as expensive as the full game. I actually agree that's too much. Like, I think 30, even though it's still like disproportionately expensive, but I think that's a much easier pill to swallow. Like, 40 bucks for something the size of Limgrave actually does seem like bullshit to me. But, I mean, and I'll buy it because I like these games so much, but no, I actually agree with them. But, I mean, we'll see. Because, again, even if it's the size of Limgrave, maybe the quality is just through the roof, right? So, you know, it's hard to say. Like, because Limgrave is awesome, right? And if you make an area the size of Limgrave-ish, but it's even more awesome, right? Then you could potentially see that being worth more money, right? So, yeah, we'll just see. Because I'm sure it has more weapons and stuff within than Limgrave did, right? Like, size is not everything. But we don't have a lot else to go off of right now. I don't know why I'm using this axe right now. This is like clearly not the context for that. God, it's one of these guys that just spams that weapon art. Probably should use something kind of bursty here. Yeah, okay. Oh, great. He's using star shards, which means they're item duping generally. I like how that just hit me, even though it like clearly missed. Oh my god, this is so annoying. The guy spamming just garbage weapon arts while the other guy makes it so if I swing, I get hit by magic. And then they're spamming star shards so they never run out. And they're just both playing like absolute pussies here. Idiots. Jesus Christ, dude. That was so obnoxious. I hate people that play like that. I mean, I don't hate them. I hate the circumstances. So it's like, you know, anyone you're looking at is like, oh my god, backpedal, run away, don't do anything. And then the other one's like, spam projectile. Then if you switch targets, then that one just runs away, backpedals, and does nothing, and the other one spams projectile. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. That's why you have to have bursty weapons, though, so when they do something stupid, you just kill them. Because you're never gonna have, like, you know, a roll catch situation or, you know, like a spacing situation. That's not gonna happen. Mubot is toxic. Why'd you get Sansoned? Man, I really want to invade the capital, but I don't think we're gonna get anything out there. Been trying that level 50 range out there, and it's better than any other range I've tried out there, but it still doesn't really work. It blows. The only level range I really get activity at is low level, and low level's kind of okay, but you just, you know, I'd like to have some variety. PC is just, well, I don't even know it's entirely PC. I mean, it doesn't help because, it's a lot easier for people to, like, use the mod, like the co-op mod and all that. But, the netcode is also just bad, and, the weapon matchmaking fucks things up. But people definitely get more activity on PS5. That's why pretty much all content creators have switched to PS5 now, because you play on PC and you just don't get anything. The thing is, I'm sure people have come back. Like, I think something is just wrong with the netcode. Like, let me check. Let me look on, Steam and see how many people are online right now. Let's see. There are 47,000 people online right now, which is a lot. Right, that's a lot. So it's the player base being spread out. It's the netcode being bad. Right, I think there's just a lot of issues. Oh yeah, Miyazaki actually talked about. Oh, I'm a blue. What the hell? This guy must be just like waiting around, making blues and reds fight each other. Or something stupid. You just don't see like normal activity out here. Yeah, oh, they're up top there where you can't get to unless you're on the horse. So the red can't get him unless he's got the cannon or whatever. Oh, they just jump down. I don't got time for that. But yeah, Miyazaki basically said, you know, we'll see, right? You know, maybe with PlayStation 6 or something. He was kind of vague about it. He very much sounded like he's not against it. Here's the thing. If Bloodborne gets remade or whatever, remastered, it better be FromSoft doing it. Like, which is kind of what it sounded like, though. Because, dude, I am not interested in playing Bloodborne that's made by Bluepoint. I'm sorry. They've fucked up Demon's Souls so much when it comes to the artistic stuff, right? The music, the environmental details, the aesthetic, the sound design. Right, they fucked it up so bad that like I don't want that. I don't want to play Bloodborne with like that level of fuckery. Like I don't care about graphics that much. Yeah, PS5 didn't last super long, because I know they're already saying like they're wrapping it up. The thing is, I think consoles are just not gonna last that much longer. We'll see. But they're less and less. Most people playing consoles right now aren't like young Zoomers, right? Like they're more into phone and stuff. And as the people that play consoles get older, I think more of them are going to PC because they need a PC for work anyway and stuff like that. It's not like console doesn't have a market, it still does. I mean, PlayStation 5 sold like crazy. But consoles, I think, are becoming less and less viable. And the thing is, they don't even make that much sense anymore from the company's standpoint, because most consoles these days are sold at a loss. That means the company, when they sell you one, lost money. And the reason they do it is because they're hoping they'll make that money back through you buying games and controllers and things like that. But the thing is, you can sell those peripherals and games for PC and not sell the console at a loss. So it's making less and less sense. And yeah, a lot of people think Xbox is probably going to step out of the console market. We'll see, though. And yeah, everyone wants to make a fucking gacha game and be on phones and stuff, right? Because that's... The thing is, most people have disposable income and free time, especially the free time, are going to be the younger people, right? And there's a lot of older people with disposable income, but they're not going to be as into that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think the console market is kind of going to die in the next 10, 15 years, I suspect. And it definitely looks like Xbox is going to be stepping back and focusing more on PC and putting their stuff on other consoles and whatnot. The thing is, it just makes sense. Like, even Nintendo, Nintendo is not as as fucked, because like their consoles, they used to sell them at a profit, which was really rare. Like GameCube was at a profit, and I think the Wii was at a profit, but then Wii U was at a slight loss, not much though. And then I believe the Switch is actually at a decent loss again. Because here's the thing about Nintendo, right? If Nintendo put out whatever peripheral they wanted, like a touchscreen or whatever innovative thing they want to do, you can easily make that work with a PC. They just make it not work with PC on purpose, right? It's not hard to make any of the peripherals they've ever made for their consoles work on PC. It's easy. And then all their games would work fine on PC. And now that they're selling the console at a loss, it's like, what's the point? Right? Like, literally, what's the point? And the point is, Japan is horrible with PCs. The market's not as big for PC yet, but it's growing rapidly, and the market for consoles is shrinking slowly. So as time goes on, it just makes more and more sense for these companies to be more like publishers, to put their stuff out on PC or whatever. There's why buy a Nintendo box, right? Especially if you're gonna buy a PC anyway. Oh, we are not even getting invasions out here. This is messed up. But yeah, Pokemon sells a lot of Switches, but they lose money every time they sell one of those Switches. You think if that Pokemon game wasn't on PC, it wouldn't sell well? Or if it was on PC, it wouldn't sell well? Because it would. You put fucking Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Sunshine or whatever on Steam, and it's gonna sell like crazy. Right? Anything they like, it's actually, I think, a really missed opportunity on their part, you know, especially their older catalog. Why not put it out on Steam? Nobody plays games anymore? I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, you know, obviously there is some shifting demographics, you know, in mobile games and whatnot. And this is what scares me about mobile games, is that the mobile games that go out of their way to be good, right? And like not just be shitty cash grabs and like shallow cookie clickers and stuff, they don't do as well. They might do okay, right? Like they might still sell and make money, but the games that like really do well and like blow up generally are the really stupid ones. So yeah, that's kind of concerning. Yeah, Olympus Company made a lot of money just by being on Steam, big time. Chat, where are my invasions at? This is at the most active level range that I know of. I could try 200. Sometimes that's active. Jesus, man. Dude, there's like 50,000 people online right now. and I can't get an invasion. I'm telling you that there's just the weapon matchmaking, the net code, right? There's just all these factors in one place make it so hard. I guarantee you if I got on Dark Souls 3 right now, I'd get invasions. I played Dark Souls 3 a few months ago, right? And it would only have like 5,000 people online, and I'd get invasions just popping, right? You might have to wait a little bit sometimes, but it's just invasions, 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 invasions. You play Elden Ring, and there's like 60,000 people online, 70,000 people online, 50,000 people online. You don't get shit! Like, it doesn't matter what level range you play at, you don't get shit. It is so messed up. Well, this is, Caelid. Not my favorite location, but, a ton of nonsense, spell nonsense. We got status effect spears. This guy is just gonna spam this bleed shit forever. Love this spell. Look at him just spamming it. And then they're like surprised Pikachu that you're not being aggro. You don't see that every day. He is so lucky he didn't get roll caught there. I think he's light rolling though, actually. So you wouldn't really get roll caught there generally. Man, I could have hit him there, but the game kept locking on to the guy that was super far away from me. Everyone plays like this, dude. It's like anything to not have to have spacing or good predictions, right? It's just anything to avoid that. Oh, great. That guy's lagging. It's probably because this guy's net can't handle 4 phantoms very well, I would imagine. I don't know why that guy was still swinging like that. I might want to choose Karen Retaliation here. Oh no, he's giving it up, I think. Oh, maybe not. These guys just like throwing projectiles forever. Guy's laggy. God, this guy's such a chicken shit. What's funny is if this guys had any idea what they were doing, they could kill me so fast. But they're all just so scared to commit to anything. Like, all they do is just roll away, dude. It's like, if anything's happening, up, time to roll. The blue's low in flasks. It's like you pull out a parry shield. I wonder what you're gonna do. God, dude. Yeah, basically all that host did was run away, shoot projectiles, and if he saw me swing and whiff, he would just do the running attack. Which is funny because if I had a parry out, it's so easy to parry people that do that. And then his second, you know, he would swing and he would just roll away. Oh my god. And like all three of them were like that, like all three of them. Even though they were like geared, that guy was like twinked. You know, he had his frost already, he was all set up, and the blues were decently set up. The first blue, not really actually, but still, they were just like, oh my god, we can't commit to anything. Because what if we miss? Thankfully, the Phantom was really dumb. Like, you can only deal with so many players. If you don't get someone picked off, you're gonna die eventually. It just sucks when people play like that, though, because it makes a lot of the weapons invalid. Like, if you don't have good chase down or burst, when people play like that, it's not... There's, like, almost no point in using whatever weapon you are using. There's no, like, mix-up happening. Man, though, these invasions are not happening. Maybe we have to try Dark Souls 3 next time. I mean, last time I played it, it was more active. And again, it's got like a fraction of the player base. It's just the matchmaking is so much better. It's a lot of little things. Like you can't get solo hosts. The weapon matchmaking spreads things out like crazy. The game is just a lot bigger. And the thing is, like, what I always say is, like, solo hosts, if you invade, like, some scrub, it's not like it's really fun to invade a solo host, but, you know, they can have Way of Blue on. And, like, I just think the obvious fix to this problem is make it so you can invade solo hosts, but have, like, blues on by default. And then you have to opt out of them. That way, like, noobs don't have to worry about it. You know, or let them summon Spirit Ashes if they get invaded. That'd be pretty cool, to be honest. But yeah, solo hosts, tighter matchmaking with the weapon upgrades, the game being more linear, all that kind of stuff. It makes it a lot easier. Or over here, I mean, you can have like 80,000 people online and it just doesn't feel like it. As we get closer to the DLC, though, there'll probably be more and more people playing. But yeah, that's why I was hoping in the trailer we were gonna get some, like, you know, oh shit, it's Covenants or something, or showing like a new Phantom color or something to kind of give us some hope about the multiplayer side of things. But we'll see. I mean, we're a ways off from release, so I suspect we'll get more information. Because I'm pretty sure, like, in the past when they've put like stuff in trailers, like, boy, they're really asking for a cannon right now. Okay. Look, man, they started it. Like, they started this shit. That guy's got a lot of health. He's also outrageously laggy, which I don't think I need to explain. So he's got a bunch of in-game gear, but this is how he's playing, so... I think he's dead. He's just so laggy. Yep. Well, I even get souls for that because that was so laggy. It might not. Yeah, I did. Yeah, he had like the Scarlet Gladiator place from the you know, out here. He had like that helmet that you get from some random dungeon. I don't even remember. He had the Beastman cleaver. I think he had the Madness Flame. So like his friend dropped him all that, or he duped it or something. Then he was just kind of running around awkwardly. He leveled Vigor though. I just like how they were like so stuck on spamming projectiles there, so they got knocked off. Thought about trying to knock the host off, but I figured he'd be ready for it after the other guy died. Oh, the slow activity though, man. Sadness. Can always play PvE, but it's not as exciting. Not where I was expecting to invade. Generally don't like being out here because it's just like, they're not even over here, right? They can just be out in the middle of the swamp and like running this way and you'll never catch them. This place sucks. I only like invading out here if you get like inside a dungeon, then it's fine, but it's just this big flat open swamp that people either use to grief or they're just like running across the continent and you can't catch them. There's really like no good outcome out here, I find. Why would I spawn over here? I'm trying to think. They probably were over here, but I think it's pretty unlikely they're still out here. Go with this one. Oh, they're nearby. Might be up on that thing. Actually, I think that is where they're at. That would explain why I spawned where I spawned. Oh, so annoying. Who the hell hosts there? Because generally you're not getting randoms out here. And if they were, like, these mobs would be dead. Yep, that's what I thought. Like, who does this? Right? Like, who goes to this fucking bullshit location and then just stands around waiting to be invaded? Like, what a joke, dude. Whoops, I did not mean to use that. And I don't want to use that because it wastes FP. Jesus Christ. I love how you can't cancel that. This fucking player base, dude. Oh, please go up there. Oh my god, please go up there. Do it. Funnily enough, if he actually got that jump, I think he would have stood up there, but he's like, eh, whatever. I can just shoot these guys, but I'll wait a second here. Come on, get on that railing. Get on that railing. Look, you'll have a better vantage point if you're up there. It'll be great. Seriously though, who does this? Like, I just do not understand this player base. Come on, get on that railing. You know what? Let's try right here. Motherfucker. I don't even know how that missed. Son of a bitch. Did they not take fall damage? That seems pretty far. I hate this zone. It's gonna take so long to catch these guys. I'll just wait until they're like way gone and then I'll use a bloody finger or something. I don't know how they didn't take fall damage there though. That's strange. What a stupid place to host though. Surely they're not going back up there. I don't think you can get back up there from that angle. I don't think. Probably just out there. Somewhere in the wilderness. I swear, I'm the only person that, like, when I want to host, especially if I'm playing with a friend, and I don't, you know, actually host much in Elden Ring, but the few times I do, it's like, if I'm playing with a friend or something, I host in a dungeon. So if there's mobs, right? I don't want to just fight a red 3v1 or 2v1 with nothing around. Like, that's just bullshit. Like, I want to work through a dungeon and have a red try to hinder me working through the dungeon, right? It's like the fun part. The compass is kind of confusing me here. These guys might just be running like straight in that direction, which would explain this, but we'll see. If they get really far, I'll just bloody finger. Oh no, okay. They're no, they are pretty far out there actually. I think they're fighting the blood guy in there. Shame I wasn't closer. That'd have been a fun enemy to work with. I don't know if those guys hit phantoms or not, to be honest. Never actually fought with one before. Oh, the bravery. That's kind of silly that he could get that, but... I like how that guy's a password summon that's like arcane and like super overstated, and he rolls away when I'm not even looking at him. Thank God these people don't level vigor. Like, who has 500 HP out here, dude? Because that guy, I didn't look at what souls he was worth, but that guy was probably higher level than me by a good bit. And he's only got 500 health, which is pretty much default. I suspect that guy actually had default health, but he's wearing the ring that gives 5 vigor. So that's probably all the health he's got. So I have played XCOM, and I just named all the people after people in chat. I don't think any of them were named after me because, like, you know, I'm the commander, I guess, right? But yeah, I named everybody after people in chat. Like Cairo, obviously. I remember Rabbit died in full cover, not half cover, in full cover with, he had a smoke screen defending him, right? And he had body armor, and he was not flanked, and a thin man just one-shot him and overkilled him by so much I couldn't resurrect him or anything, right? Like, literally, full cover, smoke grenade, body armor, not flanked, full health, and then killed so hard you can't even use like a medkit to res him. Just like, what the fuck? Like, I could not, I didn't make any mistakes, right? You can't defend a unit better than that, other than being bunker down or hunker down or whatever, right? And still fucking just instantly die. It's like, okay, that's great. Also, I remember snipers were super OP in that game. I think like we had 2 snipers just like crush the final boss. It was like snipers and then the run and gun people. Bread and butter. And Cairo was an assault, I remember. I'll play it again at some point, I'm sure. It's a fun game, and it's been so long, I won't remember jack about it. Other than the fact that thin men suck, but, I don't really like XCOM 2 that much. The, aesthetic is so bad, I, like, hate everything about the aesthetic. There's just so many, like, changes they did that I don't like. Also, I think the story's pretty dumb. Like an alternate universe where XCOM 1 wasn't successful, right? I think that's just such a bad premise, honestly. Like, let's make a sequel that just completely invalidates the first game. Yeah, that's great. I know people say, like, the stage design is better in the second game, and that's cool, but that doesn't really make up for all the other stuff. I think the first game is just a lot more, like, classical with the setting and the aesthetic and the enemy design and that kind of thing. Yeah, that's probably the most extreme example I can think of, though, where I enjoyed the first game and then I just could not be less interested in the sequel. Although there was Dark Souls 2, but I was at least excited for that initially, and then after playing it for a while, I was like, wow, this game is shit. I remember when I got to Earthen Peak, I was like, dude, every trash mob I fought is just sloppy garbage. And it's not getting any better. It's like, most of the enemies are like so boring, you couldn't possibly die to them. And if they have an annoying attack, it's because the hitbox doesn't match the animation. And it's just like, I remember I was just like fighting the mannequin guys, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, this game is boring. Thankfully, the DLCs are better, but I still do not understand how I mean, to be fair, Dark Souls 2 is probably the most hated game in the series. It is so common. Like, I don't have a hot take by saying I don't like Dark Souls 2, right? I'm not going against the grain here. I'm not a rebel. But there still are a lot of people that defend that game, and I just don't understand, dude. I mean, the enemy design is just so bad. It's like when you actually sit down and analyze the enemies, it is so dog shit. It's sloppy garbage, dude. They have horrible animations. Their movesets are just terrible. Like, it's so boring. God, there's no good boss fights in Dark Souls 2, dude. I do like the PvP to an extent. Like, mechanically, I like the PvP a lot, actually. I don't like the soul memory, though. Which, the thing is, that's really important. Right? Because it affects everything. Like, Dark Souls 2 has got, like, the biggest problem with people cheating. Because people that cheat have, like, unfair soul memory and that kind of thing. And they can be astronomically stronger than you if you're not cheating. And it's not also, regardless of the cheating problem, and everyone cheats. There's no one invades in that game that's not cheating. Like, with reloading their saves to reset their soul memory and get the consumables back and blah, blah. Everyone is doing that. But the problem is, like, the advantage when you do that is larger than normal. And it's just not fun to be dealing with soul memory, right? If you want to play legit and not cheat and not item dupe and not reload your save or any of that, making a character to PvP is not fun. Because you have to you can't buy consumables ever. You have to get the soul, the soul gain prevention ring immediately. It's just so tedious. If you ever die and lose your souls, you have to delete the character and start over because now you're behind on soul memory. Like, it's so fucking bad. But, like, it has I have way more than 1,000 hours, by the way, in every Souls game. Like, Jesus Christ, I have way more than 1,000 hours in Dark Souls 2, and I don't even know how much I have in Dark Souls 1 because, like, I mostly played it on Xbox, but then I played it a lot on PC. And then, like, Dark Souls 3, I've got almost 2,000 hours. I know Elden Ring, I'm way over 1,000. I've played these games way too fucking much. Like, I did a lot of PvP in Dark Souls 2. And, like, Dark Souls 2, I do think mechanically is some of the better PvP that they've had. Because, like, I really liked it because when you're at neutral with the enemy, you had a lot more options than you do in the other games, right? You had a lot more ability to be aggressive, but you still had options to be defensive. But it wasn't like you had to be defensive, like in Dark Souls 3. And there was just a lot of mix-up with, like, going for, you know, backstep stuff. Leap attacks were actually good, which that was crazy. There's just a lot of options at neutral, right? To like, mix up your offensive and defensive options. I really like that. I really like that about Dark Souls 2. It's like really refreshing when you're just at neutral, right? And your ability to like throw something out and try to get your opponent and stuff is just it's not this ridiculous. Oh god, I should have been ready to use the cannon, but anyway, yeah, that kind of mix up is the best in Dark Souls 2. Oh, these are just noobs. Feels bad. Yeah, it's got the best neutral game, I think, by a mile. I think it had the healthiest like meta when it comes to like how good the high tier stuff was compared to mid tier stuff. The spells are the best in Dark Souls 2. That's not even close. I can sing a lot of praises for Dark Souls 2's PvP, but the problem is most of that doesn't matter because there's so much cheating. That's a brave guy right there. But the most of it doesn't matter because like of the soul memory and like the adaptability. And I don't think anyone can disagree with this. Adaptability is really bad in Dark Souls 2 because once you get to a level range where people have capped adaptability, roll punishing just becomes so bullshit in Dark Souls 2. Because like you just have too many iframes. And it's actually not even about the iframes, it's about the lack of recovery frames. It's nonsense. God, I fucking hate like Dark Souls 3's like 1v1ing. Like it's when you get like 3v1 and 2v2 or 3v2 and crap like that, it's great. But like the hardcore 1v1ing in Dark Souls 3 is just miserable because it's just everything is so safe. It's like impossible to punish anybody unless you're doing like hard swaps and like lag tech. It's not great. I really should not be opening up with this weapon in case I get noobs, because this weapon's kind of like bullshit. Okay, we're a little laggy here. I like how that guy is blatantly way braver than the other two. Either that or he thought they were gonna like back him up and they just weren't. Jesus Christ, level vigor, guys. That was 80 damage. It's nothing. Are you kidding me? And this really is lag. Look, my hit them like so far later. I kind of figured that was gonna happen though. That guy's dead. No, right? Maybe not. The lag, dude. The host isn't lagging that much. It's the other two, especially the cleric. That guy just stood in the fire and died. Also, I swear he has default vigor. Oh. I guess I'm going down here. Dark Souls 2 PvP on release was awesome because you didn't have a bunch of people cheating soul memory and like min-maxing with like item duping and stuff. And people didn't even know how to like min-max soul memory to like get too much adaptability and all that. So it was awesome. I actually think that's the most fun I've had, like dueling and invading. Although invasions were kind of shit because you had Seed of a Giant that lasted forever. You were time limited as an invader. You couldn't fucking heal unless you were Faith, but I didn't want to be a Faith build, right? Like that was pretty lame. I'm not gonna lie, invasions kind of sucked ass. But dueling and then just that guy just died to the one trash mob down below. I'm telling you, this is like what happens when you have chronic co-op brain. Like people don't know how to fucking be offensive and defensive at the same time. They just rely on their teammates for everything. I think he's gonna die to the poison. I'll let him heal here. I cannot believe that guy died. That's insane. Like that mob down there is like nothing. I want to kill this guy with the poison. Oh, this is gonna be hard now. I wore off at a bad time. I gotta get him with the cloud. No, that did damage. Shit. I fucked up. But yeah, I think a lot of people kind of see Dark Souls 2's PvP with rose-tinted goggles, and they don't really look at it objectively as what it is. They see it as what it was. But like what it is so shit. And again, mechanically it's fine. Mechanically I think it's the best, but the thing is it's not a game that allows you to just have a fun mechanical fight with other people. Like anyone that invades you or is like looking to be invaded is always cheating in that game. And cheating gives you like, and that, to be fair, that's really common in Elden Ring too. Most Reds are cheating. Most of them are item duping star shards. They have like, 999 of these, and that gives you a hell of an advantage. Right, and they've item duped warming stones and everything else, but that's bad. Don't get me wrong, it's shit, but that's not nearly as bad as what happens in Dark Souls 2. Because let's say you're invading at like the 300k range, but everything you have on your character you didn't spend souls for. Your friend dropped it for you, or you created it with cheat engine, and you upgraded it so you didn't have to spend souls on upgrading, and you didn't have to buy shards for souls, and all these consumables you're using you didn't buy, so every single point of your soul memory goes into leveling up, and then so you're like 20 levels higher than the people you're fighting, and you have better consumables than them, and you have a better weapon upgrade than them, and it's just bullshit, right? And if you want to play legit and not cheat, you're just screwing yourself. And like I think it's like indefensible that, like, for example, let's say you're running around 200,000 souls, right? And then you die and you lose them, right? You're now, 200,000 souls into the soul memory, but you have no credit, right? You're not, but then the people that are like making PvP characters are obviously not going to do that. That doesn't happen in these other games, right? So in all the other Souls games, if you're level, 20 and you drop a bunch of souls, well, you're still just going to be invaded by people that are probably like level 10, level 15, right? That's not how Dark Souls 2 is. Right, you're just getting invaded by people that have collected the same amount of souls as you have, regardless of if you've used them well or not. That is so bad. Because it's like the better you are at the game, the more optimized your soul memory is going to be. And then when you're cheating, it's even more so. So it's like, I don't think I've ever seen a bigger gap. Now, it wasn't a problem in the early days, because in the early days, no one knew about it. Oh yeah, I remember people were like cheating and getting the DLC items. I do remember that, and they were dropping it and stuff. Yep. I remember that. But I do wish these games would take some notes from Dark Souls 2 though. And I mean, I guess they have. I mean, they've got like power stancing back to an extent. But like Dark Souls 2, and I actually forgot about this until recently. Dark Souls 2 is the only Souls game that the netcode does not apply status effects off phantom hits. So it's the only game where you have to actually hit your opponent to kill them. What a concept. Where like all these other games, you can build up bleed, poison, curse, madness, sleep, when you fail to hit your opponent, right? And it's not because that's a feature of the weapon, it's because the netcode is so bad. Dark Souls 2 is the only one that's not like that, which is that's a pretty big W, honestly. Unfortunately, you know, it's all lost because of soul memory, but still. Like, I would be so happy if Elden Ring would fix the netcode. That's the whole reason Madness is top tier. Like, that's literally the whole reason Madness is good. Is just because you can literally kill people without ever actually touching them. I don't know why FromSoft doesn't put more effort into the netcode. I don't understand. Because it's one of the defining features of the series. It's, you know, really popular, and yeah, most people play mostly for the single player, but they certainly enjoy the unique multiplayer, you know, aspects like the messages and the ghosts and summoning people and things like, and yes, getting invaded. A lot of people, normies, actually enjoy randomly getting invaded. That was a big negative for Elden Ring. A lot of people said was because they had you weren't going to get invaded here and there. You just never get invaded at all. You know, it's kind of sucks. Well, hell, never mind the seamless co-op, because that doesn't really have PvP. Look at the Remastis mod for Dark Souls 1. I think it's made by Inferno Plus. He made his own netcode. And it's so much better. Right, that's a guy. That's a guy. Right, an amateur. Although he's, at this point, I don't know if you really can call him an amateur, but, you know, he's not working for a professional company. And he was able to make netcode a million times better than FromSoft. Like, it does not make sense. What a lot of people have said, and I do get this, and I've seen other companies do this, it's because they're a Japanese company, and they literally don't get it. And I mean that. It's not like they're behind the times. They don't understand what this netcode is like outside of Japan. Because Japan is a very small country, right? So when you connect like this, with this kind of bizarre netcode that has really weird logic to it, well, your connection's probably pretty good, though. Because if you notice, when you fight someone in Elden Ring, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, whatever, if they happen to have really good internet, and maybe you happen to be kind of close to them geographically, it's a lot better, right? The game's logic, the way the game tries to break down like what's happening, or the way the netcode tries to translate information, it's a lot more reasonable, right? It's like, yeah, I mean, it's still not the really smart way to do it, but there's not a lot of problems when people have really good internet and are close by to you, right? It's a completely different game. Where, you know, because Japan is so small, that's normally how their connectivity is, right? That's when they're testing and looking at it, like, this isn't so bad, this is fine, right? But then you go to America and Europe and stuff like that, it's just dysfunctional garbage. Yep, that's why fighting games were like that for so long, and only recently are they starting to get it. But that's because the games are becoming so much more globally successful, and you can't really ignore the feedback forever. But that really is the problem, I think, with FromSoft, is they look at it in Japan, and it's like, this isn't so bad. Right? Like, yeah, it's a little... Because the main issue with... Because peer-to-peer they can't fix, right? It's not like they can make the connectivity better if you're really far away from somebody. There's nothing you can do about that. It's the game logic, right? Because, like, basically the way the game tries to logic out, okay, well, on the invader's screen, they landed a hit, but on the host screen, they didn't. You know, what do we have the game do? You know, the netcode that handles that kind of stuff is all just terrible, right? It's just fucking dumb. And if they could improve that, that would help immensely. Like, yeah, they're not going to be able to make people's internet better, obviously. But it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of people on YouTube that have done this. They've got really, really good internet, and they've got like a friend in the same city as them, or even their neighbor in some cases. And they show what it's like to duel them and stuff, and it's just so different, right? Like what's possible, what will roll catch, what won't roll catch, what will parry, what won't parry is completely different. Just completely different than what we're used to. And then they'll like, you know, duel someone that's farther away, and it's just so much fucking worse. Yeah, Japan does have a tendency of disregarding international stuff. It's almost a pride thing. They don't want like feedback from other countries to be valid, and they don't want to be like conceding to it and making changes because of it. That kind of attitude is very common, but I don't think FromSoft is really like that. I'm sure like some individuals in FromSoft are like that, but they don't really seem that way to me. And they have listened to feedback to an extent, and some of the Elden Ring balance changes to like weapons and stuff, like Rivers of Blood and stuff, were directly from community feedback. So I don't think FromSoft is horrible about that. I just think they don't get the problem with the netcode. And I do think they're a little bit lazy with it. And I think in the early days they just didn't understand. They truly didn't get it. I'm interested in like Elden Ring 2 or whatever, because I'll be interested to see if they change it. Don't ask why I'm using a poison warped axe. Like, it's not actually good, but it's cool, and it applies poison really quickly. Not exactly a meta weapon, but well, you don't see people using that every day. Holy hell, what is that guy's damage? I'm not even that tanky. Oof. This is a hard place to invade, though. If there had been 3 of them, this would have been way harder. Because FromSoft is now way bigger than they've ever been, right? Elden Ring success, and then even Armored Core 6 doing well after that. Like, they're just in way better shape than they've ever been. They're just a lot more successful now, right? Because even as of like Dark Souls 3, they weren't really that big of a company. They really weren't. They were a really small company that had some, you know, nice success. But now that they're not like that anymore. And so now they've got more money, more eyes on them. You know, they have to have a higher standard. And I think Armored Core 6 was of higher standard, even than Elden Ring, when it came to like netcode, the options menu, and just the optimization of the game and stuff. Like Armored Core 6, I do think they put more quality assurance into than they've ever put into any game ever. And that's a good sign. So I'm interested in what the next, you know, game is that's like Soulsy, right? Dark Souls 4, Dragon Souls, you know, Elden Ring 2, you know, whatever. Bob's your uncle, right? Whatever they decide to make that's like Soulsy, I'll be interested if they finally be like, okay, look, we're bigger now, we got the money, we got the resources, there's more eyes on us, we got to fix up this netcode, right? So I'll be interested to see if they finally do something about it, because they're using netcode from like 2002 or some crap. Like, it's kind of absurd. Yeah, on a technical side, it's undeniable they've improved. If you look at old FromSoft games, even Dark Souls 1 and even Dark Souls 3 to an extent, it's actually pretty shoddy, like on the technical side. Like, enemies like can't move in Dark Souls 1. They're all just standing around until they aggro at something, and then they just run, you know, in a line at what they're aggroed to, right? It's pretty amateur. Like, it really is. And if you look at their older games, like Otogi and stuff, it's all like that. Like, they've historically actually been really bad at coding. And they up to Dark Souls 3, it got a bit better. Their mobs could do like basic padding and stuff, but they didn't really have like good AI logic to like, you know, what am I supposed to do if there's an object here? You know, there's no like dynamic pathing, right? Like, there's really not a thing. You know, it's very basic stuff. And then Elden Ring, it's a bit better still. Elden Ring is the first game, I would say, from all the Souls games where like on the technical side, it's not like an embarrassment. I mean that. I love these games. But when you really look under the hood, the coding is shit. Like, really shit. And it's like when you talk to NPCs, you know, they don't walk back to Firelink, even if they're near it. They teleport because they couldn't code it, right? There's so much stuff like that. they're just now getting better at that kind of stuff, right? They're just now starting to be able to optimize properly and have NPCs move, you know, in a reasonable manner and shit like that. And the Armored Core 6 was a noticeable step up. It really was, right? Armored Core 6 is coded a lot better than their other games. So I'm very interested in the next game and seeing how they've improved. I mean, hell, the DLC might have some of those improvements too. I kind of doubt it though, because it's going to be using, you know, a lot of the same under the hood stuff from the base game. It'll probably be better, but I don't expect the DLC to like blow me out of the water with technical improvements. But you never know. We'll see. Maybe they'll do some optimization while they're at it. That'd be cool. I mean, I'm super looking forward to the DLC. It's just the environments and enemy design did not impress me in the trailer really at all, and they didn't. There was just no wow factor in the trailer. It was kind of just, hey, there's more environments that look like environments that we've already got, using tile sets we've already got, and just kind of whatever enemies. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of green. There's that too. But there was like no wow factor. There was no like, oh man, we're adding covenants. There was no like, oh man, we're adding a boat. Although I don't know if that would actually be good for the game. But I was just saying, they didn't really do anything. Nothing was confirmed that I really care about. And like the tile set just all being reused was kind of like whatever. But you know, if there's cool new weapons and whatnot, I'll be happy. But I really want covenants back. Yeah, honestly, I agree with the people right now that are kind of upset about the price tag. Now, we'll see, because we don't have a lot of information, because maybe there are covenants. Maybe there's new content for the base game, right? Maybe they're gonna like fix some of the repeated bosses and add, you know, a cave here and there or whatever. Who knows, right? There's a lot of information we don't know yet, because we're still a good ways off, right? We have a while before it comes out. So, you know, with future information, they may impress me still, right? So I'm not saying absolutely the DLC is going to be, you know, bad value for money, or it's going to be boring or whatever. I have no idea. But as of the trailer, I'm not impressed. I'll really put it that way. The trailer just did not impress me. And when I've been seeing all these people that are hype, is they're kind of just blindly hype about it. They're like, I love Elden Ring, so more Elden Ring, yay. But then like, wait, what was in the trailer though that was actually that great? I mean, we'll see. Like I said, we'll see. I'm rooting for it. But it's not like FromSoft is above putting out a doozy every once in a while. They've made a few DLCs that were bad. I mean, Dark Souls 3, right? Like the previous Souls game, Ashes of Ariandel was a pretty shit DLC. Like really. So it's not like they're above fucking up, right? But I am rooting for them. I hope it's good. Yeah, the thing is, the whole other map just seems like... It just seems like reusage of tile sets. Like they're like remixing what's already in the game and slapping it together in a new landmass, right? And then changing the lighting to just make it look different. That's like what I'm seeing in the trailer. So it's not great. I think Ringed City was really good. Not perfect, but I think Ringed City was a good DLC. I think Ashes of Ariandel was dog shit though. I actually think it's like the worst DLC they've ever done. Like it was so empty. It was just trash mobs, and the same trash mobs just over and over and over, and there was no bosses. It had 2 boss fights, and it really only had 1 boss fight. Like, are you kidding me? It was like this sandbox that was bigger than it needed to be, and with a lot of arbitrary bullshit to make you run around in circles for a long time, and then just fight a boss at the end, and that was it. Like, that was just so bad. I think Ringed City was a lot better, though. I think it had a much better, like, level design. It felt a lot more like regular Dark Souls 3. I think the boss design was quite good. It wasn't perfect. Like, Gale was a little Elden Ringy with like the kind of delayed attacks and firing off like a laser, but it wasn't that bad. Nadir's, I think, the best dragon they've done. Twin Princess is a pretty good duo boss fight. It's not perfect, but I think it was pretty good. Like, overall, I like Ringed City a lot. And it had a lot of like freshness, like with the Ringed Knights, right? The Ringed Knights weren't just like reskinned Lothric Knights, right? So like that was nice. It is very poisony in the Ringed City. I could definitely see why someone wouldn't like it aesthetically. I can definitely see that, right? It does all look pretty samey, and it's like this grim, muddy, like aesthetic the entire time. So if you don't like that aesthetic, you know, it's not going to be visually very appealing. I can definitely see that. And that's kind of how I feel about the trailer for the Elden Ring DLC right now. It's just everything looks just kind of LOL. We used a lighting filter, and it's kind of just whatever. Now we'll see. They didn't show off that much, and if they've got cool forts and castles, I will say I hate the lighting in the DLC trailer. I fucking hate it, and I'm not looking forward to spending a bunch of time in that kind of lighting. Oh, geez, I wonder if these guys are ganking. I like how, because his friend can't help him right now, he's just running away. Yeah, and then as soon as his friend's here, now he can safely spam his weapon art. Let's see if we can gravity these guys. Although they don't seem that dangerous, but that whole time I had the wrong talisman on. I mean, you do spin. Oh man, I'm not ready to use the cannon. Damn it. I wasn't expecting him to come at me that quick. And then he fell off and died to gravity on his own. Good job, idiot. Look, and they're all twinked out. Like, his friend dropped him a bunch of items. You know, he's already got Rykard's sword, right? Like, he's all twinked out, got the talismans already. And then he just dies to gravity. And I didn't even do anything. But you spend an okay amount of time in the actual Ringed City, but there is a lot of Poison Swamp. Like, no question. Like, again, aesthetically, I don't really mind the Ringed City, but that's subjective, and I can totally see why someone wouldn't like it. But I do like the enemy design. You know, it had a lot of new, fresh enemies that were designed pretty well, like the Ringed Knights and stuff like that. I think the bosses were designed pretty well. So, like, mechanically, I really enjoyed it. I think it's way better than Ashes of Ariandel. But, yeah, we don't have a lot of information about the Elden Ring DLC. Like, you know, how many new enemies is it going to have? How well designed are they? What's the pacing like? You know, how many boss fights to trash mob ratio? Like, what's all that like? And we don't know any of that. I like how he just stood in the lightning and he didn't get hit. Also, I like how they watched their friend die and they kind of just like ran around in circles for a while there. Yeah, there was a reskin tree sentinel, and there's actually more than that. Like those trash mobs with the axe are kind of obviously the typical soldiers that are in the game right now. Good job. I can tell this guy is just like fishing for jumping attacks. Like that's all he knows how to do is jumping L1 while his teammates cover him. He just had no idea what to do there. And all he did at the end there was jump attack again. But yeah, I'm honestly kind of worried about the DLC, but I'll give it a fair shake. I want it to be good, and I'm sure I'll enjoy using the new weapons and stuff. Like that'll be fun. The question is, chat, what character do I use? I kind of want to use my arcane character just because I don't play that character much, and I think it'd be kind of fun to use a build I don't use often in new content. But then if I get a cool new axe, an arcane build is probably not good for trying it out. So that's what we'll see. I don't really have a good faith character. I could make one, and we certainly have time to make one. Maybe like strength faith or something like that. I've always wanted to make a strength faith character, and they're good. They're quite good. And then you got to pick what level range to do it at. It sounds like the DLC is balanced around this stuff. That's pretty much what Miyazaki said. Is the DLC is going to be like the Halig tree and down here. So you probably want to be a decent level, and also if you want to get invasions while you're out there, you're going to need to be a decent level, I suspect. So I would say anywhere between 100 and 200 is probably where you're going to get activity for invasions and co-op and that kind of thing. I would think actually higher than 120-ish. Like 120-ish has just never really been an active level range in Elden Ring. Like hosts don't give a fuck about it, and they blow by it pretty fast. So I'm thinking like 150, maybe 140 or something like that. That's generally more active anyway. We'll see. But yeah, Faith Strength does sound fun. And like I said, I haven't done it. I might even have a character. Hold on, let me look real quick. I might have a character that I could repurpose. If I could skip running around and collecting all of the flasks again, I would be okay with that. I don't like having to do that every fucking playthrough. That's I actually have gotten to the point where I have started to enjoy the PvE more in this game. It's obviously my complaints don't change about it, but But running around and having to collect all the dog shit, you know, like all the consumables and the cracked pots and everything, I don't really like that. Okay, we have this character, which has not been very successful for getting Lindell invasions. Let me see, what are they? We need to be a vagabond, obviously, for a faith strength. Yeah, most people are like 150, 200 on the first playthrough. And I think, and some people are going to be playing on characters that are New Game Plus. Like, I actually think higher the better. I think higher the more likely you're going to get activity for the DLC. Okay, this is a vagabond. I've got my flasks. Okay, I don't think I have all of the tiers yet, but that's not a big time investment. Yeah, maybe we use this character. It kind of sucks I put so much effort into getting a level 50 character, but we don't get much activity right now. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'll have to look at what else I got. Because I was thinking of maybe turning this into a 60 character, something like that, trying to get capital invasions. And I think part of why I may not be getting invasions is my weapon upgrade might be slightly too low. I'm not really sure, though. I don't know about this guy's hair. I need to change that. But, yeah, maybe this character. We'll have to get a lot of souls. Like, holy shit, I'll need a lot of souls. But Strength Faith does sound like a really good time, because that gives you a lot of variety in what you can wield. And, like, if there's fancy new shields with, like, weird stuff on them that you wouldn't expect and all that, we'd be able to use it. I mean, if we go to a higher level, we could get enough decks that we could use kind of whatever we wanted. So yeah, one of these two characters doesn't sound bad. What's this one? Level 80 has never been an active level range at all, so I'm not really attached to this one. I know you can get a +8 immediately, like that takes very little effort. Really? Where even, who, you little shit. I wonder if this guy's probably on New Game Plus, which would be, I'm almost positive this guy's on New Game Plus. Let me see. Yep, he is, because I don't have these braces, but I've been out there. Probably wouldn't want to do like that, like play it on New Game first, then play it on New Game Plus. It just sucks though, because a level 80 is pretty good for this kind of thing, for like being upgraded into a higher level. Why did I not go to New Game that early? The Vagabond 2. Damn it, why did I do that? I think I was hosting on that character, and I wanted the mobs to be stronger. I think that's why. Hi, Rabbit. That would have been a perfect character, though. Because I would not miss that one if I made them higher. I've got these characters. They're all... Like, they're all in higher New Game Plus cycles. I'll have another level 80. Okay, hold on. Okay, maybe not New Game Plus, because they've never been out here. That's a good sign. They've got their flasks. They probably don't have all their tiers, though, I would imagine. Okay, this might be the one, chat. This seems like a pretty good character to go with. Okay. Oh, wait, they're Vagabond, right? Yes, they're Vagabond. Sweet. Yeah, I can make this a Strength Faith character pretty easy. I still have to run around and grab a lot of stuff on the map and kill a bunch of bosses and shit, but that's no big deal. Been to Lake of Rod, at least. I've been to, like, the Twin Gargoyles. I think that's out here, so I probably have. Okay, yeah, I've been out there. Okay, there's not too much work that has to be done on this character. Yeah, I think this is the one, chat. Yeah, I think Strength Phase that sounds pretty sick. And I could even try out that one weapon, that one greatsword out here. I've always wanted to try that out, just for like shits and giggles. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I think this is the one. So what's the name on this one? Mercenary level 80. Okay, I can remember that. Sick. I kind of mix up what I play. I'm always melee oriented generally. And I always try to use axes, because axes are like on my first playthrough. They're my favorite medieval weapon. Boy, was that not a good time in Elden Ring. But you know, I've mixed up between quality, strength, you know, maybe you have some faith or not. You know, I mix that stuff up. God, normal sized axes in Elden Ring, dude. Oh god, absolute misery. I think they're the worst they've been in the whole franchise. T-Rex arms, not great. I do like some of the Crucible Knight weapons. Oh, that's right, those are Strength Faith, right? There's that, the one with like the slam. I've always wanted to use that one. I forget the name of it, but it's like the, you know, Crucible Knight one where you, a great sword, you slam into the ground with the, like, energy stuff. That looks pretty fun. I know it can gank spank because it's got massive hyper armor, and if you do all the things to optimize its damage, it can one-shot people that are stupid. And like, if I want to use this for anti-aggro still, it's fine, right? It's still got good stats with Strength Faith, I'm pretty sure. Probably not optimal anymore, though. Might have something better. I could still use Claymore. I'm just hoping axes get buffed. I hope the, like, buff the R2 to be more like the Greatsword R2. Malekith's sword's a little too big for my taste. It's a little cartoony for me. It does have a really fun weapon art, though. But it's just a little over the top. Can we gank these guys? That's obviously a password summon. Please tell me the host is not AFK. Why is this guy just wasting ammo? I don't understand. I think the host is AFK. I could just kill the host, but that's no fun. So anyway, how about that DLC, chat? Any jar cannons? Yeah, we had a few gravity kills with that at the start. I don't mind anime shit. I gotta be clear here. Anime shit is fine. As long as there's also normal shit in the game. But, like, insanely oversized weapons are just not my shtick. Like, let's see, let me think of an example of, like, anime shit that's not oversized. Oh, like the Ringed Spear. The Ringed Knight Spear. The Ringed Knight Straight Sword, right? Those are super anime, but they're not, like, crazy oversized, so I don't mind them. I don't like wielding a skyscraper, generally. It's just not my shtick. I'm not mad they're in the game or anything, though, right? It's just not my style as much. The DLC reveal finally got me to get Elden Ring. Now, I'm curious. How come? Not that there's anything wrong with Elden Ring. It's just, why did the base game not do it for you, but the DLC did? I'm curious. Was it like the aesthetic? Just having more content? Not a Guts cosplayer? Yeah, definitely not. Although the thing is, if you're a Guts cosplayer, you should use Claymore or Greatsword, right? Because like earlier in this story, like Golden Age, right? He's more like Claymore. And then later on, you got your Dragon Slayer, big hunk of iron. Greatsword is like, I can put up with it. You know, it's not too anime for me. But what really grinds my gears is when you invade someone named Guts and they're using a spear. Wait, why did it make me stand up? But like the amount of people that like gave up on the Guts cosplay when they named their character Guts is just ridiculous. I was extremely spoiled on the base game. Oh! 1 minute. Boy, that guy just came in swinging there. Jesus Christ. I really shouldn't use this weapon against someone that seems like a pretty normal character. Oh, I don't have my hyper armor thing on. I think I could have... I don't know how far I was into the animation there. That damage, dude, jeez. Should have delayed that. At least he just played like a normal human being, though. What was I saying? Oh, extremely spoiled on the base game. I got my first blind Souls experience. So, it is true that the blind experience is way better. You know, Dark Souls 1, Elden Ring doesn't matter. Like, being blind and not knowing what's what's up is a huge thing. You will have to get to the DLC though, right? You're gonna have to play the base game. Here, this is just, you know, my 2 cents, and you don't have to trust me at all, but my 2 cents would be get a character, you know, maybe get them to like level 100, you know, get your equipment and all that, and then, you know, be basically at the DLC entrance, and then go from there, right? That's probably a good way to do it. But yeah, I always go really ham on not getting spoiled. I'm not even kidding. I almost didn't watch the trailer today because I didn't want to be spoiled on anything. And when it was just regular old Elden Ring, I didn't watch any of like the gameplay trailers and stuff. And when the network test came out, I only watched people that did PvP, and I didn't watch any of the PvE. I skipped over all of it because yeah, I really value the like blind experience. It's just so much fun to not know what's around the corner and discover things. It's great. But yeah, I really recommend that. The only reason I even watched the trailer was because I was just really curious what direction FromSoft was going to go with the DLC. Like Earth Defense Force 6. You know, you guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but Earth Defense Force 6 is a game I'm super looking forward to, and it's been out in Japan for like a year, and I haven't watched anything. I haven't watched like nothing. So when it finally comes out over here, I'm just gonna... I don't have time to put on the ring. Wait, aren't these the guy? No, these are no, these are the guys that I gravity killed. I killed that guy with gravity, and we killed the host, and that was the guy that was jump spamming. How did, after all that time, that was like 20 minutes ago, how have they not progressed anymore? Holy shit. Yeah, EDF 6 has been out for almost a year in or about a year, maybe even over a year in Japan. And it was going to come out really soon stateside, but they just delayed it to summer, this summer. But I love EDF 5. It's like just it was such an amazing gaming experience, and I absolutely must go into EDF 6, you know, blind and not know anything. So it's worth it to try to build up the willpower though to be able to do stuff like that and not spoil stuff for yourself, because it just makes games so much better in my opinion. Like I generally try to know as little as possible for any game I'm super interested in. There's sometimes exceptions, like maybe if it's a really multiplayer focused game or something like that. But yeah, I try to go in as blind as possible. But you know, you might find you still enjoy Elden Ring's base game while you get ready for the DLC. Because to be clear, in case you don't know this, you're not going to be able to boot up a character and just play the DLC. They're not going to let you do that. You have to kill Moog, it looks like. And that's kind of far into the game. Now, if you Zerg it, you can certainly do it, you know, fairly quickly. But Moog is a pain in the butt. So you're going to want to be like at least level 80 or something like that. I would say for like a normal new player, you're definitely going to want to be like level 80 to kill Moog. Yeah, some people don't mind being spoiled. Some people don't care at all. It's a case-by-case thing. Although I think most people agree. They may not mind being spoiled too much, but I think pretty much everyone would agree that it is generally more fun to play a game, especially if it's a more single-player-esque game, where you just go in blind and discover it for yourself, and everything's fresh and new. It's a really special experience. You know what's funny is Bloodborne is the only one I haven't played, even though I really want to play it. I haven't played Bloodborne because I never had a PlayStation 4. And I actually have not spoiled that one either. I've gone, over the years, I've just avoided watching any of the boss fights. I never watched like a streamer playing the PvE or any of that. But I've been wanting to play it forever. I hear good things about it. Well, like an ending is actually not really what I would say is a spoiler for Elden Ring. Like, who cares? It's more about like the bosses, the enemy placements, right? Like just the overall combat feel and stuff, right? Those are the things I think are really special about Souls games. Like, most people won't even understand the endings if they see them out of context, right? So that's not really a big deal. All right, we got a big boy shield. He's not using. Sir, why do you have a giant shield equipped and you're not blocking? I'm so confused right now. Not the first time I've seen that. Oh, the R2 catch. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the endings in context. That's true too. Absolutely. I really like Elden Ring's endings, actually. The options, like, they're really nice. Like, the perfect order ending is just so different than, like, the Ronnie ending in terms of, like, what's going on lore-wise. Or, like, the chaos ending and such. My favorite endings, as I always say, though, is the perfect order ending and the chaos ending, which is kind of funny because they're complete opposites. I love Gold Mask, dude. Like, his lore, when you really dig into it, is so awesome. Like, he's basically, like, he believes in the... What do they call it? The deity, why have I forgotten this? What the fuck is the, like, super god in Elden Ring? I know the lore really well, but I'm so bad with names. Why do I know this? Pat, I'm old, but, like... Jesus, how am I forgetting this? The greater will! Yes, thank you! Right, he cares about the greater will, not the religion around the greater will. And I love that kind of characterization. It's kind of like being a good Christian against Christianity kind of shtick, right? And the thing is, he's right? Like, the religion built around the greater will doesn't actually understand what it wants, right? And when he understands it better, they persecute him, right? Which I just think is hilarious. But, you know, he makes a better, you know, order than they ever did. And the host fell to gravity somehow and died. Okay. I was getting ready to use the cannon there. I was all excited. How long did it take them to reveal a DLC? So they said they were making the DLC like a year ago. So it was about a year after the game came out. They said they were making one, but they gave no details. They posted a picture on Twitter and said, we're making it. Please wait. And that was it. And so it's been 2 years now. And we just now got to actually see the DLC. Which is like the longest development cycle I've ever seen for a DLC. So it'll be interesting to see how the... Like what they do, right? Like what's up with it. Yeah, it's hard not to have high expectations because the game was in, the DLC was in development for so long, right? So it's like, yeah, it's hard not to. But I am not digging the aesthetic, like I said, too much. But I don't like loathe it either. I do kind of loathe the lighting, I won't lie. I'm really not liking the lighting in the trailer. But we'll see. These guys be ganking, it looks like. They're just like waiting around to be invaded. We'll see if we get a cheeky kill here. Try to surprise somebody. Oh, are they doing like a package where you can buy the game and the DLC together or something? I didn't look into any of that. So I could have killed the host right there, but I decided not to. I wanted to see if I could kill the Phantom. But yeah, I could have one-shot the host there. He doesn't have enough health. And we get gravity. We'll see. Oh man, I don't have the cannon out. Oh, they're dawdling. Damn, if he wasn't fast rolling, I could have had him there. Oh man, I fell off. Oh no! Damn it, now I can't get back up there. Oh shit. Why is it not two-handing my weapon? I like how it just kept R1ing. Jesus. I died because of that. I don't even know, as I was holding down the two-hand button, and then I hit R1, and it fucking R1'd twice. That sucks. That was pretty lame. I have no idea why it did that. Like, you just saw me swing at nothing 2 times in a row there. Like, what the fuck? I was just trying to two-hand my weapon, so if I needed weapon art, I could. God damn it. You know, I'm kind of surprised, though, I would kind of expect them to do like a Game of the Year edition or whatever, where they package everything together, which maybe they'll do that later. This is sus. Oh my god, this guy's a bonfire duelist. Why are there always people like this? Like, they're all optimized for dueling and they're all over leveled and blah 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 blah. I should really use Claymore, but I'm kind of too lazy to fuck around with my inventory. That was so obvious, dude. R1! I fucking hate katanas, dude. Thank God that's over with. Dude, if they ever had a Madness katana, I'm gonna lose my mind. Because, like, you could just mash R1 and get phantom hits and then Madness somebody and then, like, hit them with an R2. And, like, oh my God, it would be so terrible. Yeah, I will say, that's a much better deal for the DLC, though. Like, for all us suckers out here, we have to spend 40 bucks just for the DLC, and that kind of blows. That's way better, like getting that as a package. Like, it's actually a good deal. A lot of times deals like that are like scams, but that really is not a scam. But yeah, I would recommend getting to like level 100-ish. You know, maybe even a little higher, depending on how hard the DLC is going to be. If it was me, what I would do is I would go to like 100 and then have enough souls on me that I could instantly level up a chunk more if I'm like, oh geez, I should be a higher level, right? And then just, you know, do the base game while you're waiting. I mean, they're saying that the DLC is going to be like, you know, the content out here. So you probably should be higher than 100. I'd say the average player is probably going to be happier in this style of content out here. If they're like 120 or what. Oh my God, it's literally the same guy. I don't want a fucking bonfire duel. Thank God that's over with. Like, they use cheat engine and stuff. They give themselves all the items, and they already have the talismans, and they just stand around at bonfires normally waiting to be invaded, and it's like, bro, go to the arena. Like, 1v1 can be fun, it can, but I don't want to do it in an invasion context, because like everything about an invasion is asymmetrical. It's like the worst time to 1v1. Although I guess some people do it because they want to like stop the duel every once in a while they're PvEing. But like, I'd much rather you summon phantoms and that kind of crap if you're gonna do it that way. But I mean, it's their world, they can do whatever they want, and if I don't like it, I can always, you know, stone out. And we get gravity here. We shall see. We might. Oh, we might be getting gravity, boys. Damn it, he stopped walking, so I fucked it up. Bad shots. I could have killed that guy so easily too. I like how the one guy is coming back here. I mean, brave. Oh, I can't get there from here. He has to jump down. I cannot believe I did not get that shot, though. I am super surprised at this guy, though. Like, just not playing with his teammates. You don't see that very often. Wait, why did you... I'm about to say, if you run away now, then why did you come out in the first place? Well, my man's got 300 HP, or 350 or something, so that's pretty bad. Default vigor right there. He's worth 362 souls. That guy was way higher level than me, and that's his health. Oh god. I bet you the host doesn't have any health either then. Do you think there's hope for AC DLC or AC 6 DLC? Maybe, but they normally just do like an expansion game for Armored Core. So that's what I would expect. You know, we'll see. I can't help myself. I gotta use this thing. But yeah, I would expect, like, if they do more with Armored Core, for it to be like a follow-up game or something. And the thing is, they even said they were not expecting Armored Core 6 to be so popular. So I'm not sure they had a lot of plans for it. Oh, he's got health though. Holy shit. That was such a bad throw. But I'd say I'd be surprised if that actually could aim high enough. My brother in Christ, you do not want to do that. Yeah, I didn't think so. I really did not think so. That guy's a super high level password summon though. Like, he's so tanky. It's crazy. Like, in light armor, he's that tanky. Boy, the teamwork with these guys is not very good. Like, it's 3v1, but it doesn't feel like it. Wait, did the host already go up? I think, yeah, the host had already gone up, and then he just didn't go back to help his Phantom, even though his Phantom was so tanky. I guess the Phantom was like, I got this, bro, don't worry about it. He's probably not up here. He's probably gonna resummon them though, because damn it, yeah, he's not up here. Why did it spawn me here then? You got a while, Blue. Like, it's like what, 3 months? 3.5 months or something like that? Yeah, he's just re-summoning them. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Brave Sir Robin here. Actually, that's a different player entirely. Oh, this player base, dude. Really? Trying to kill the fucking host because he's just gonna run away. This guy's never gonna fight head on, no matter what. And if his Phantom dies, even more so. Thank fuck. You're so happy to swing when I was busy with everyone else. Only like 4 months. Yeah, you got a good spell there. Yeah, you could do a prequel with like Raven, the actual Raven in Armored Core 6. You could also just move on to a different planet, right? Because unlike the other Armored Cores, right, the universe in that game is like a multi-planetary thing. There's all kinds of stuff going on throughout the universe, right? So they could just do something fresh. But yeah, I could see them doing a prequel. They hint at a lot of stuff with like Raven and like already having a history with the was PCA and stuff. So your primary offensive stats is Strength, Dex, and Faith, Arcane. But you can certainly do hybrid stuff. It's very common to go like Strength with a little bit of Faith and things like that. Or even just enough Strength to wield your weapon, and then you infuse it to scale with Faith, and then you go high Faith, and you have good miracles as well, stuff like that. But yeah, your offensive stats are Strength, Dex, and Faith, Arcane. Very big recommendation, though, that early in the game, you really focus on leveling health. Because, here, I'll explain this better in a second here. Like how this guy already has the Draconic Tree Sentinel stuff. Sure you got that legit. Everybody running away. This is looking like a Carrion retaliation situation. There you go. Oh man, I should have shot the spell parry at the host. That was a very optimistic running R1. Oh my god. Phantom killed his own host. That's great. Anyway, so early in the game, and just how it's just logical. So you see my strength scaling is D, my dex scaling is D, right? And as you upgrade weapons and stuff, that will get higher, right? So right now, this is a +3 straight sword, right? So right now, its dex and strength scaling is really bad. Now, this is really important to know because a lot of people miss this. So look, this has D scaling and strength as well, but it's blue because it's basically D+. This is actually a real mistake in the UI, by the way, that you see D and you think all Ds are equal. They're not, right? There's huge variance between each letter and like how much they actually scale. So even though if you see two things at D, it doesn't mean that they're the same. And so, for example, if I plus this sword up to +4, it's probably still going to have a D scaling in strength, but it's a higher D scaling. And if I upgrade it a bunch, it'll eventually become C, and so on and so forth. Now, early in the game, obviously, your weapons are going to be like lower upgrade, right? So early in the game, your scaling, right? So like the strength scaling is at the worst it's ever going to be. And that means that leveling strength is the least useful it's ever going to be, right? So let me just show you an example. And this is kind of the mistake everyone makes, because no one levels vigor in this game, which is a huge fuck up. So if I level my vigor, look, I go from 210 health up to 951, right? So that's a pretty decent change in health. If I level my strength, my damage goes from 152 to 153. That's nothing, right? Like, do the math, like, on someone that put a point into vigor and has that much more health versus his opponent that put that point into strength and is doing literally 1 more damage, right? Obviously, the health one is better, right? And it's not that strength and dex and all these things are bad. It's just in the early game, the scaling is so low, who cares, right? It matters later. Once your weapons are like plus 16, plus 20, right, that kind of stuff, then your scaling is great enough that if you put a point into strength, you're going to get more AR out of it. So what I really recommend doing is, fucking birds. Whatever weapons you like, oh, I want to use Claymore, or I want to use, you know, the Dismounter here, or whatever it is, get the stats required to wield it, right? So let's say you wanted to use Claymore. It takes 16 strength, 13 dex. So get the 16 strength, 13 dex, right? But then don't go above that, right? Whatever you're wielding, right? Just have the stats at that amount or close to, because you might start off with higher stats than you need. But and then put the other points into health until you get your health, you know, pretty high, right? Like 50 vigor, even 60 vigor, right? Way up there. And by the time your vigor is that high, now your weapon upgrades are going to be a lot higher. So now your strength is high enough that now that if you start putting points into strength, right, or dex or whatever your choice is, it'll actually get, you know, some boom for your buck. Because that'll instantly put you ahead of the pack. Because most people just do not level vigor. I mean, you can see it in these invasions. I'm fighting people that have default health, and they just die in like 2 hits. It's ridiculous. So yeah, don't be that guy. Because even if you don't PvP, it's the same thing. Like the bosses will just 1-shot you and 2-shot you if you don't level health, and that's not a good time. And if you're doing 1 more damage to them, that's irrelevant. And like a big mistake you see people make is they're like, oh, well, if I level my health a bunch, I just go from being 2-shot to being 3-shot, right? Who cares? That's a big deal. An extra hit gives you more time to use your flask, etc., right? It's actually like a really big deal. So yeah, health is important. And that is like just the big newbie mistake everyone makes, is they don't level up. It's very common to see invaders naming their characters like Vigor Check or Level Vigor and things like that. Just because it's that common. Alright, where are they? They must be down below. I guess I have to wait for them here. We're gonna go for some cheesy kills in close quarters. That's normally the way to go. Actually, they might still be up top. I don't know, actually. We'll just wait and see. I'm so excited for the DLC, though. Even though the aesthetic is not exactly my cup of tea, I just can't wait to get, like, new weapons and invade and see what players are up to and, like, what people like and don't like. See what my chat's doing. Okay, they're coming up. Here we go. I could Goomba stomp them and try to kill them here, but I'll wait. I did it too soon. Yeah, and this guy seems like a normal new player, too. He rolling, though. Where was his teammate at? Still down there.
So his teammate was a password someone, I think.
But I feel kind of bad. That host said like starting gear. Funnily enough, there's nothing wrong with the starting gear. Actually, the starting gear is pretty good in like Vagabond's case and such. It's not really about the gear being bad. It's just normally it's a sign that the player, you know, is unprepared and doesn't know, you know, what's up. That's what I don't like about low-level invasions, though. You either fight twinks that are, like, over-prepared and are, like, way stronger than you, and, like, especially the ones that are cheating, or you fight people like that are not ready at all. But it's the most active level range, so... Well, there's actually one other... I will say, one thing that's legitimately nice about lower level is there is a greater emphasis on typical, like, spacing and roll punishing and that kind of thing. that just doesn't exist at higher level. It's all weapon art spam and jump attack, like one-shot stuff. It's just looking for an opportunity to one-shot somebody on both sides of it, the host side and the invader side. And there is some fun to be had with that, but you know, it's not really the classical gameplay that a lot of people like in the PvP. Yeah, a lot of starting gear is fine. I will say the Confessor gear is kind of meh, just because it doesn't really have great absorption and that kind of thing. Like the Vagabond set you could use for the entire game, and it's not really that big of a problem. And you could certainly use the Confessor set in PvE, but if I was going to like get invaded and stuff, like I was co-oping or whatever, if I started as a Confessor, I would like, you know, grab like some of the Godric armor in here and wear some of that stuff. Yeah, the level 300 password summons at low level, absolutely, especially when they're arcane. It's not the end of the world when they're like not arcane, but holy fuck when they're arcane, it is so annoying. Like they just one-shot you so easily, and they can be so brainless. Where like high level, you can one-shot them back, so it's not so bad. But yeah, that is annoying. But I do find it equally annoying when you invade a host that is just a super scrub and he doesn't even have password summons and stuff, because then you're kind of just bullying, right? There's not a lot of fun to be had there. My favorite invasion is when you get a host that maybe is a little green, right? Like a little, not like experienced, but they're not like super shit. But then they've actually leveled Vigor some, and then they've got 2 summons that are like, you know, competent and they know what's up, right? But then they're working through the level. They're not just standing around at the bonfire looking to 3v1 you, right? They're actually working through the level. And then so you're outnumbered, you're outgunned, you're outstatted, but you have mobs to work with. But they have the numbers advantage, right? That's such a fun, spicy, like, and doing that in the capital especially is just so much fun. That's like when Elden Ring is at its best for me. But it's very hard to get invasions like that these days because the matchmaking is just yikes in Elden Ring, unfortunately. Like, look, I'll try. I'll go out to the capital and we'll see if we get anything, but I doubt it. So I feel bad for Confessor fans, though. I actually think Confessor is probably the worst class in the entire game. And for the most part, you know, a lot of the classes can be like viable enough, so it's not too big of a deal. But if you go to like an Elden Ring build optimizer and you make like any kind of build that makes any sense, and then you look at the starting classes, Confessor is always at the bottom. Like its starting stats just don't make sense. It's not really good for anything. It sucks because it's a really cool class, like lore-wise and everything. Like I totally get why a lot of people like it. Like I very much get it. But it is sadly like noticeably worse than everything else. Like I can't even think of another class that I would say is like that bad. Like even Prisoner, you can make optimal for some dex int stuff. And even if you do a setup where it's not optimal, it's not like unoptimal by that much. But that Confessor has a hard time. It's very weird stats that they gave it. If you're PvE focused though, it's not a big deal. But if you're gonna be invading or getting invaded, it can matter. Oh shit! Chat, it's been 3,000 years. We actually got a capital invasion. Hopefully I don't blow it. I'm not like as familiar with this character, so I might blow it. We'll see. I don't even know what's in my special flask. Well, all the mobs are already dead, so that doesn't bode well. Oh wait, no, they just hadn't loaded in. Okay, they're back there. I was about to say, they're either already worked through the level or it's like ganking, but now they're just slow load. Come on, gentlemen, let's not have bonfire duelist crap here. Guys, capital invasions are so rare and we're gonna just stand at the bonfire. Like, don't do me like that. And you should like summon a third player too, that'd be good. Oh, we got madness. Okay, that guy likes the jumping attack. Classic poke, of course. Watch those bubbles. Man, I might have hit if it wasn't for the post thing. My man almost died to bubbles there. Was that the grab? He went for the grab. That's not gonna happen. Damn, my spacing was fucked up there. Oh man, the host died. I didn't want him to die there. Wanted to, get the Phantom. But the Phantom was being really passive. Which is, I never understand that. The Phantoms are normally tankier, etc, etc. They have higher flat defense and all that. Because they're normally a higher level. And also they're less valuable, right? If they die, you don't lose. So if one is going to be passive as one is going to be aggro, it should be the Phantom is aggro and the host is passive, right? Obviously, but quite often I see people do it the other way around for some weird reason. I don't get it. Yeah, the host didn't have that much vigor. And look, this is at much higher level, and like I'm like level 53, but I bet you that host was like level 60 or 70. Because you generally invade up, and that's all the fucking vigor he's got. It's just crazy. But yeah, the Phantom should have been the aggro one there. Yeah, I suspect that kicking stuff from the trailer is probably a weapon that makes your feet glow and makes your attacks do that. I suspect that's what it is. It's either that or that's a spell. But I think that's a weapon, because they said... Damn it, we're not getting invasions again. But they said that there's 8 new weapon classes, right? Like types. So I do suspect that kicky thing is a weapon type. Yeah, generally, host being passive is like always the meta. But just sometimes they get like it's too big for their britches. I don't know. It's probably part of the melee moveset. Yeah, well, the thing is, if you look at that clip, they're not holding a weapon. There's nothing in their hands, but their feet are glowing, and I think their feet are glowing even when they're not attacking. So I suspect it's something you equip that turns your like R1s and stuff into that attack. Either that, or that's a weapon art, and your weapon disappears when you use it, which I kind of doubt. That I don't think your weapon would disappear. Or it's a spell, because if it's a spell, then your hand could potentially be empty. So there's a few options there. But I mean, 8 new weapon types, that's a lot, and so something's got to be funky. It's not like there's that medieval styles of weapon they haven't used already. So melee mage build. I mean, you do have carrier and slicer already, but yeah, maybe it's like a faith version of that. That's possible. But my guess is it's actually a weapon you equip. That really is my guess. Kind of like the cipher, right? Like the glowing letters you can equip that make a fist weapon, right? I think it might be something like that. But hard to say. We'll see. And then like the giant pot could be a consumable. It could be a weapon though. It could be. They could have like a new throwing type weapon slot. Or weapon type, excuse me. But the giant ass jar could be a consumable. Yeah, the translation could be off. We'll see. But I don't know what they would have said. It's not like there's only going to be 8 weapons, right? That's way too low. And I think we already saw more than 8 weapons in the trailer. Like, you have those enemies with the axe and the spear and stuff. But, like, for example, in the trailer, there's the guy throwing daggers, but before he's throwing them, you can see the daggers he's throwing are just sitting there in his hands. Now, it's possible that, like, they linger in your hand. Let me use a... This is probably the best. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, like the one in the trailer is not like that. He's just sitting there with the both daggers in his hands, and then he throws them and like refills them. So I suspect it's like a dagger, but that's like it's dual daggers that you throw, and the character like pulls out more daggers out of his pants or whatever, and right, you can kind of just keep throwing them. It could be the weapon art too. But that could be a consumable, but like the way the weapon was in the hand, it doesn't really seem like it. So yeah, that one I definitely think is a weapon. But I think the kicking is a weapon too. That's my guess. Now, I'm not so confident in that I'm like, oh, absolutely. But like, I do suspect that's the kicking. Honestly, the weapons is what I'm most looking forward to. I'm not really digging the aesthetic and like the lighting. That's what I've been saying all stream. Like the lighting really just, nah. But new weapons and stuff is always awesome, especially if you're into PvP. Oh, wait, we might get gravity. It's not over yet. Not likely. Damn it. Yeah, they needed to be farther down. I did it. Chat, I'm so scary. I'm so scary that they throw themselves off cliffs. All right. I'm just that intimidating, chat. I'm pretty sure that was a misstep. That was a whoops. He had leveled his health a little bit, but barely any. He had like 550 health or whatever, which is higher than default. But he barely put any points into vigor there. Wait, Radon? I thought these... It looked like Moog. Why would Radon be necessary? Did they say that? Like, did FromSoft say that, or are people just guessing that? Because, like, in the trailer, like, they're telling you to touch the shriveled hand and all that of you know, Mikola, and they show it at the start. So I would assume Moog is what you gotta kill. And you don't need to kill Radon to kill Moog, I don't think. Yeah, you got 4 months. It's not too bad. I don't think it's really a problem, but... In an interview, they mentioned it. I have to look into that, because that's weird. I only saw, like, the one interview with Miyazaki, so I might be behind on info here. But, you know, a lot of times there's a lot of misinformation during this period, so we'll just see. But that's odd you'd have to kill Radon. That's not that big of a deal, though. I mean, you know, if you're gonna kill Moog anyway, right? I would prefer, though, the DLC to be really easy to get to, because even if it's gonna be really hard, because they said it's gonna be like in-game equivalent, like Snowfield and Hailing Tree, it sounds like. But if people want to go there early, they should be able to, right? You could have like an NPC warn them that it's really treacherous out here or whatever, but like, for example, on my mid-level and low-level invasion characters, I want to go grab the items. So has this character killed Moog? I don't actually know. Let's see. Moog is I don't think I have. Wait, no, wait a minute. This is where Moog's at. Okay, I have not. Well, either that or I didn't light the bonfire, but I don't think I have. Well, that's going to be a fun experience with a, you know, a +3 and whatnot. Probably going to have to cheese that one. You know what I would like is for them to add covenants and have Radon's faithful, right? Like the Red Mane Knights is a covenant or something. Like, oh baby. And you kill fuckers that side with Melania, like Scarlet Rot lamers, right? Gotta cleanse the rot. That'd be pretty great. Yeah, the trailer didn't have anything hint. Oh, wait, are they going in the front way? Oh, is he fighting the NPC? I don't even. But the trailer didn't have anything hinting at, like, you know, adding covenants or making the multiplayer limit higher again or any of that stuff, which kind of sucks, but we'll see. Yep, he's fighting the NPC. I should have delayed that R2 more. Sometimes I don't think that through. Something got fucked up because of the NPC there, I think. That's why I didn't take damage. Shield bash. I'm gonna want some a weapon art here that anti-aggro. Okay, this might be too much, but fuck him. I was really hoping he'd walk into it. Not that dumb. Well, matter of time on that one. God, Melania fans are always like coming up with copium reasons why she's actually moral and awesome when like her whole story is she's not. She's very prideful and she like that's like the point. A lot of the characters have like the demigods have like a flaw. Like Radahn can't let go of the past, right? And Melania's thing is she's prideful and like to the point where she runs her own plans and Miquella's plans. Like she literally does, right? Miquella literally gave her a thing to stop the Scarlet Rot so she doesn't get taken over by Rot Goddess. And then she's losing a fight, so she takes it out so the Rot God takes over, right? Like that, it's just stupid, right? Like she just, and then she brings the Scarlet Rot back to the Halig tree and fucks up the Hailing tree. Right? Like, she's an idiot, right? That's like her whole point is she's so prideful that she, you know, makes really bad mistakes like that. And people always try to make her out to be like this, like, perfect waifu. Dude, it's so silly. You're not supposed to like Melania. Like, I don't think FromSoft at all was trying to make her a likable, oh god, I'm Honako blue time. But yeah, I don't think they were trying to make her a likable character. It's super unclear when Moog kidnaps Miquella, though. We have like no idea where that happened. If that was before, after, during, like we're not clear. We'll probably find out in the DLC, I would suspect. I'll be pissed if there's no new Moog lore, honestly. Like hell, it might have been Miquella didn't protect his sister. Like he might have abandoned her. Really, it's not really clear what the hell's going on. Like, most likely, he was in the Hailing tree, and then Moog took him out of it, right? So that seems to be the most likely candidate, but it's not really... Like, did that happen before, you know, Melania went off to fight Radahn? Or did it happen during? Or did it happen after? Right, like, it's not clear. Like, it's possible she went off because he got kidnapped. That doesn't seem likely, though. Nothing about her motivations or... Like, I really think if she was on a crusade to, like, find her brother... I really think they would have mentioned that in an item description and stuff. That does not seem to be the case. But could be wrong. We'll see. But yeah, she kind of ruins everything because of her pride. Yeah, you see Miquella and like that cocoon, but that was probably ripped out of the tree. But like that could have happened while she was away. But it could also have happened before, right? And that's why she was away, right? We don't really know. But we do know that she came back to the Hailing tree and then corrupted it with Scarlet Rot because she had removed the pin and all that. Although in her defense, I don't think she really did that on purpose because it sounds like after she released the Scarlet Rot, she got super foobarred and like, you know, basically double downs with Radahn. And then she's just completely unconscious. And what's the name? Feely or something like that? You know, carries her back. I don't think she was even conscious for that. So, not necessarily her fault on that one. Hard to say, though. In the interview, the journalist said, I think Elden Ring has adjusted balance to the extreme. I need some context here. Like, is he saying it's, like, harder than the other games? Yeah, the funny thing about Elden Ring is... If you play it at like level 1 plus 0 weapon, right? Kind of deal. I think Elden Ring is actually the hardest. Like, cause some of the enemy movesets are pretty unreasonable with like what can roll punish and that kind of thing. And just like the frame data. But if you play Elden Ring where it's just like, I'm going to play the game like a normal person and level up and use abilities and weapon arts and, you know, consumables and whatever is available to me, I think Elden Ring is the easiest in the series. Like by a lot. Like it's like absolutely the easiest to just raffle stomp. Is this like a journalist that has played the game? Is he saying that like the DLC has been balanced to the extreme? Because here's the thing, what Miyazaki said is they want the DLC to be like in-game content and to be like comparable to this place and this place. And if you look at these I mean, Jesus Christ, dude, where is it? I don't know why I'm going out here at level 20, but oh shit, I'm invading. But you got that spot where you got the dudes on the crossbows You got some big hailing tree knights. You've got the fat big boy tree guy, right? Like that area is so toxic, right? Like that is not an easy encounter if you just fight it head on. But like, have journalists played the game now? Like, what's going on? Or is he just like reporting what they're talking about? Fragmented narrative. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, that guy's tanky. Might want to carry in retaliation with this guy spamming. Mages, man. Trying to get them to waste FP. That guy's probably so high level though that his FP is like through the roof. Also, he's dropped the talisman to the other guy to where he gets FP when an enemy dies. I saw that. I don't know why he hit traded there. Like, he hadn't healed yet. Like, that guy had loads of health, but he hadn't healed from the first time he got smacked. Dude, it's so obvious. That guy dropped that Phantom a bunch of, like, stuff. He had, like, the axe that gives you FP when an enemy dies and all that. But then, like, that guy didn't know what he was doing. So it's not like he, was a twink or something. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while there's a game journalist that knows what they're talking about, but they're normally fucking idiots. Like, they have a very vague understanding of what they're talking about and stuff. I'll still read the interviews and stuff, because even if the journalists don't know what they're talking about, sometimes FromSoft will give you good information. So, we shall see. Can I get gravity here? Messed it up earlier. Little laggy. Dang, not quite the right angle there. There's one. All right, I'll take that. Oh, there's another player here. He just walked off. That doesn't even make sense because he literally has another Phantom. I don't. Maybe it was a mistake, but that's normally like people queuing because they got invaded. I want to be able to summon an army of Phantoms to carry me, but I never want to have to deal with the red. Makes sense. I love how anytime FromSoft makes a game where you can't be invaded, they don't let you co-op, like Sekiro. I fucking love that. Like, they just don't get the point. Like, the reds are there to balance out how fucking easy co-op is. You know, to each their own, etc., but I legitimately don't understand people that want to co-op through the entirety of these games. Like, they're not designed for that, and they're so boring. And if you want, like, a theme park type experience, the Souls games are just horrible for that. You know, they don't have, like, an upfront narrative, right? Like, they don't work that way. They're really bad games for, like, that kind of classical, you know, face roll experience. Like, that just defeats the entire purpose of them, which is why they make it annoying to co-op. That's like the point. You're supposed to use co-op like you're stuck on something and things like that, especially in Demon Souls. Holy crap, that was clearly the point in Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1. But it's like the seamless co-op mod is like the boringest thing on the planet. It's just so easy. Well, you don't see people out in this part of the map very often. But if people want to do X or Y, it's their money, it's their time, they can do whatever they want. But like if I want to co-op with my friends, I want to play something that's like more designed for co-op in mind. Like Earth Defense Force or Mario Party or, you know, what have you. These guys seem to just be running. I think I'm gonna take fall damage. Could use a cotton ball and then I won't. Might just bloody finger though as they keep going, we'll see. I've only got one, jeez. I don't know how they didn't take fall damage there, it's pretty far. Honestly, co-op can just be so much fun in games. It just... I don't think Souls games have good co-op. The AI just doesn't accommodate for it. You just ping pong the aggro around and easy wins. I'm not really sure where these guys are going, because they're kind of just making it worse for themselves here. But maybe they've got a location in mind. I hate invading open areas. I wish you could set it to only invade dungeons, but you'd get a lot less invasions that way. But like, they get all their flashback from killing like weak-ass enemies, and they can just run away forever, and then like the Y-axis problems, right? There's just so many things, dude. Invading dungeons is awesome because like anytime you do damage to the host, it's meaningful. I swear these guys were just like running away in a panic until they found any location that didn't have a bunch of mobs around it. But there's still mobs here, so. God, that was annoying. A man using the worst weapon in the game. Also one of my favorite weapons in the game, but what are you gonna do? Of course you swing out of getting hit. Almost. Man, I'm trying to use my flask. I'm gonna have to use something stronger with the way this guy's playing. Yeah, that'll do the trick. Man, I need to keep a regular axe on me for when they're using a regular axe. I mean, this is a regular axe, but it's like better, so... It's just such a bad weapon. I need like a vanilla battle axe for when they're using a vanilla battle axe. I could take off my... Actually, I should take off some of my armor to be fair. Here. Well, he's got the upgraded flasks. way he paused like that, it looked like he was trying to parry. But he doesn't have a parry tools, though. This weapon does so little damage, but the poison's getting a lot of work. Got the Walmart turn, dude. Gotta stop doing that. Fix my gear here. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. That's the one. It'd be hard to use a poison cleanse item during that fight because I was so on top of him. He'd get a hit anytime he used it. Although he could have like literally turned around and ran away to get distance to then use it. But then he'd probably aggro a mob, so. Oh, that we already know there's a swamp. Like they showed it in the trailer and he literally said it in an interview. And what he said was like, he didn't realize he loved making poison swamps until Elden Ring. Like he discovered that about himself during making Elden Ring, that he just loves making poison swamps. And so it's like this DLC is like the first time he's made a poison swamp since realizing he loves making poison swamps. So he's kind of interested in seeing like how the player base reacts to it and stuff. Why did it spawn me up here if they're over there? But yeah, he confirmed it in an interview and he talked about it, you know, like I said, in a bit of depth. So. Fucking game, dude. Wait. What? Are they by the gate? Why is it spawning me over here then, like twice in a row if they're by the gate? What is happening? Okay, they're not by the gate. This game is just out of its mind. And what were they taking damage from? Oh, they're cowards. I see. Yeah, it's annoying. It's impossible to get up there as an invader when they're over there. You can get up there if they're over there, because you'll spawn on the wall. But there's no way up there otherwise. Okay, I should just care in retaliation this. Like they're just spam, so. Oh, it's these guys again. That guy's using golem arrows. Fucking. That's like the dumbest thing you can item dupe. God damn it, dude. Yeah, that guy there is using fucking item duped golem arrows, dude. That's my least favorite thing in like the entire game. Cause like, I've literally farmed those before. It takes like an hour to farm like 10. And it fires 10 every time you do that weapon art. So that guy just fired 30 golem arrows. Ain't nobody sitting around for like 20 hours farming golem arrows. All these fuckers are just cheating, dude. It just sucks. I could have dealt that if I just was more ready for it. So I kind of got caught unaware there. That's like the cheapest thing in the game, though. And what I can't stand is all the streamers like normalize it. Like so many streamers use golem arrows, and they fucking item dupe them or cheat engine them, etc., etc. What a lot of people do, like on PlayStation 5, is they item dupe them with their friends. So they drop like 20 for their friend, and then they reload their save from the cloud, and they have the 20 back, and they drop 20 again, and over and over and over, until their friend has like cap, and then the friend drops it for them, and then they back up their saves, like on the cloud, and then anytime they use them, they reload the cloud save. It's so stupid, dude. Yeah, they're just broken. They do an outrageous amount of damage, and they make that little AoE when they hit the ground. And they're supposed to be like this really rare consumable you use in like really extreme circumstances. And then people are out here using them like candy. It's so fucking dumb. And they're a lot easier to get on PC too because you can just cheat engine them. But you can item dupe them here too. You can do the same thing. You can, you know, get like 10 of them, 20 of them, whatever, give them to your friend, and then have them give them back, and then you just have like a separate folder with a backup of your save, and you reload it, and you just keep copying them that way. So how people use cheat engine is people figured out how to load up the game in offline mode without easy anti-cheat. And then so while it's like that, you boot up cheat engine and you just give yourself, you know, whatever you want, you know, souls, items, whatever. And as long as those items aren't like corrupt, like where you made it where you have a weapon that inflicts deathblight in one hit, right? If you do that, the game will detect it when you do go online. But if it's just normal things, right? It doesn't matter if it makes no sense. If a character goes from 0 golem arrows to 999 at level 1, it doesn't matter. The game is like, oh, golem's arrows are just an item you can get, so it doesn't detect anything. But if you have like some hacks golem arrow that's got like double the stats, then it'll detect that as like an improper item. But yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. It didn't even take that long for people to figure out how to do it, honestly. Now, the good news is, because it's a few extra steps, a lot of people are too lazy to do it. But people still do it, and that's not but like with the golem arrows and things like that, what most people just do is they go into their program files, they find their save, they back it up, they you know, have a friend give them, you know, all the golem arrows and give them back, and they just trade them back and forth, and each time they reload the save. So the ones they give, they reload and have them back, so they're just duplicating them like that. Yeah, even if, like, out of nowhere, you just get a Moonlight Greatsword in your inventory for, like, no reason, the game won't detect that. Because it's like, well, someone could have dropped it, you know, or maybe you killed the boss, right? Like, the game doesn't know how you acquired things. It doesn't, like, track that. Like, obviously, if there's no other player in my world and a Moon Veil just drops right in front of me, and it's for no reason, there's no other player to have dropped it, that's obviously cheating, but the game doesn't really detect that because, like, oh, you could have Moon Veil. It's not looking at, well, did he get Moon Veil in this context or that context? It's not, like, looking at that kind of stuff. And that's why, oh god, this is so lame. I don't know if this happens in Elden Ring. It probably does. So, in Dark Souls 3, even if the game detected that you were cheating, like, it detected that you had something in your inventory that's impossible, like a dagger that has 10,000 curse buildup. It would detect an invalid data, right? It wouldn't even know what it is. It would just detect invalid data, and it would flag your account, and then once a week, all accounts that were flagged get banned, right? So what people would do, and they still do, is, and I think they've, like, tried to improve on this, but I know it's still an issue. But people would make items that are invalid, and then before they get banned, they join other people's worlds, drop those items. Anyone that picks them up now has an invalid item. They get flagged and they get banned too. And what's messed up is what people would do is they would family share with themselves. They'd make an alternate Steam account, family share with themselves, and then use the family shared account to do the cheating. So then the family shared account is what gets banned, and then their actual account that has Dark Souls 3 or whatever does not get banned. Yeah, it's quite silly, but you can just make a new email address, make a new Steam account, and even if this is crazy, if your main account gets banned, you can still family share with yourself to a different Steam account, and you're not banned. And because you're family sharing, you don't need to buy the game again, right? So you can make infinite Dark Souls accounts, and you know, each one of them won't get banned for a whole week, and then if you get banned, you just make another one. And there's even a crack out there where you can transfer saves from one Steam account to another. So you can transfer, I'm not kidding, you can transfer your saves. And you can look this up. There's YouTube videos on how to do this. There's people that confirmed it on Reddit. I've even seen the program myself. You can take the save files from a banned account and use this crack to put those save files into a different Steam account, and then use those save files on a new Steam account, and it won't be banned. It's ridiculous, dude. Like, it's this horrible, you know, anti-cheat stuff over here. The thing is, it's not as much work as you think. It really isn't. Like, it's only a lot of work if you're doing it like really rapidly. If you're only doing it once a week, it doesn't take a lot of time to make an email address. It doesn't. It does not take a lot of time to family share with yourself. It really is not a lot of work. And especially once you know how to do it and you've done it before and you've got like the crack thing open, because like the crack thing is so easy to use. It's not like some big involved thing, right? You just download it and it's super easy to use. So if you're just having to like set this up once a week, that's like 5 minutes, man. Like the first time you ever do it and you have to download the programs and figure them out, it's probably going to be like an hour. But once you've done it, it's going to be 5 minutes. So like 5 minutes a week, whoop-de-doo. And you can cheat as much as you want. Like you can literally use any cheat from Cheat Engine and you won't get banned for a week. And unless you did it like the day before the ban wave goes out, but in Elden Ring it is more work though, because you have to, you know, kill anti-cheat, easy anti-cheat, and then go in offline mode, and then do the Cheat Engine stuff, and then turn anti-cheat back on and go online. It takes a bit more effort. But if you're the thing is, it's not the effort's worth it if you're not doing anything that's going to get you banned. Right? If you're just like leveling your character up and giving yourself 999 golem arrows and all that kind of crap, you're not going to get banned for it, right? You're cheating and you're giving yourself an unfair advantage, but you're not going to get banned. So doing that like 1 or 2 times, you know, no big deal. Because this is what annoys me. They're like, well, it's so unreasonable to farm golem arrows. Yes, that's why you're not supposed to spam them. You're supposed to use golem arrows. Like, I think I have I think on this character I farmed some of them, but I don't have like that many. And I'll use them if it's ever like a super sweaty, fucked up invasion. Let me see. Does this character have them? Actually, I don't know if I have any. Okay, this character doesn't, but I have farmed golem arrows on a few characters, so I'll get up to like, you know, 40, 50, 60 of them. But it takes forever, right? If you can whip out the highest drop rate plus stuff, the best farming location I know of is the golem by the elevator out here. You go to the bonfire right here, which I don't have for some reason, and you keep respawning and killing this guy right there, like over and over. Oh my god, it takes so long. Like, the drop rate is so bad. He only drops 5 at a time. And you shoot 10 with that Radahn's Rain that everyone uses. You shoot 10 of them. So you have to get 2 drops for 1 shot. Like, it's so dumb. Like, if you wanted to farm 30 of them, right? If you wanted to farm 30 of them, you're probably going to have to farm that for like an hour or so. If not more, depending on luck. Right? And you got people out here using them, using 30 every invasion. Just over and over and over and over. They just use them all the time. It's like, they obviously, and they cheated. And right, again, the defense is, oh, but they're so hard to farm, that's why I cheat to get them, to just save time. You're not saving time, you're doing something that you would never be able to do. You physically not sustain. It's just like star shards, right? You could not sustain using star shards every time you're invaded and every time you invade. You can't do it. You're not going to get enough of them. There's like 15 per playthrough, right? And I see streamers out here invading, you know, popping like 50 of them a stream. It's like, that's not even remotely sustainable, right? Like using 1 every, you know, week, if you're actually actively playing through the game constantly, then yeah, you could sustain that. But it's just so silly, dude. Unfortunately, these things just get worse and worse, and it becomes more and more prevalent. Like, the people spamming star shards are like more prevalent than ever. Almost anyone you see invading is doing it, and a lot of hosts are doing it. It's actually pretty rare to find reds that don't do that kind of thing. Oh, hi guys. Oh, I fucked up my jump. Oh, you know what? Let's try some Stormhawk Axe. We haven't done that a lot. Oh, I need to remake my volcano pods here. Wanting him to jump up here. No, you fucked it up. God damn it. I had a whole plan there, because when you jump up here, like as they're jumping, they can't dodge Stormhawk X. So I was like trying to bait him into doing that. I'm so sad, dude. I think it would have worked, but he just fell off. I love how this guy already has washing pole or whatever, and then the buff, the blood build up thing, which is like super strong, and he's just getting his ass whooped by a bird there. God damn it though, dude. I was so like, I wasn't gonna heal. I was just really trying to bait that guy into following me up there, and I was gonna Stormhawk X at the top. It works really well, honestly. But yeah, that guy, I don't even think he meant to fall off. I think he just messed up. God damn it, man. Oh, whoops. I just made the wrong... That was a waste. I think I'm low on my mats here. Oh, no, I'm not. Like, see, that's a sustainable item, though. That is just... The whole reason I use volcano pots is because it takes, like, 5 seconds to get, like, 60 of them, right? It's so low effort. But you got people, like, lots of invaders and stuff. They spam the lightning one that you need, like, the gravel stone for. Right? Which, that's just not sustainable. And then they get the pot damage talisman, and they do, like, 700 damage from one pot throw. I mean, warming stones are sustainable if you get later in the game, because you get an item to buy the sanctuary stones, so you can actually make an unlimited amount. The thing is, you don't have the FP to use them. So when you see people using warming stones, generally what they're doing is they're sustaining the FP with starlight shards. And because you have 10 starlight shards, and the thing is, you can craft mid-invasion, right? I don't know if this... Does this character have the ability to make warming stones? If I don't, I need to go get it. Okay, I think I do. But yeah, you can buy the sanctuary stones, and it's not too hard to get the smoldering butterflies. So you can use all the... Well, you can have 10? Yeah, you can use all 10 of your warming stones and then craft more of them. So with the amount of FP it takes and the starlight shards, you essentially have unlimited healing. That's a big part of why Starlight Shards are so popular, though, because you can just have so much healing, just use your weapon art so often. And, like, I hate to say this, man, because I love Chase the Bro, for example, but even he does it, man. Like, he's obviously cheated and got, like, unlimited star shards. And you can see it in his videos. Like, he'll sometimes edit, but then he's got the blue aura from a Starlight Shard. And that way he can just keep using weapon arts throughout an invasion. Because very often in Chase's invasions, he uses so many weapon arts, he would have ran out of FP a long time ago. Yeah, it sucks, man. I don't like the way that the community has just like embraced the cheating, but they don't like talk about it. They act like, oh, it's just to save time on farming. Just saving time on farming. That's not what it is. Like, they know that's not what it is. Chase is very good at the game. He's insanely good at the game, but he's absolutely cheating. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. Go watch his videos. You'll literally see it. He'll make an edit, and then he's got the blue aura around himself from a star shard. And sometimes he even shows himself using the star shard. Like, if you ask, he won't lie about it. I guarantee you, if you go in his comments and you ask him, have you item duped star shards, and do you use them frequently when invading? He'll say yes. He's an honest guy. He'll say yes. And, like, that doesn't take away from the fact that his spacing is immaculate and all that stuff. He's very good at the game, but he is cheating. And he would lose some of those invasions if he was not cheating. And, like, you can just see that some of those invasions he get in take a while, right? And he's throwing out weapon arts like fucking candy. I mean, he'll, like, switch weapons constantly. He'll do, like, 50 fucking weapon arts throughout the invasion. And he'd long be out of FP if he wasn't using star shards. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. Watch his videos. You'll see it real quick. That and he sustains, like, using Bestial Vitality, which is, like, a really efficient heal over time. He sustains it with star shards. So he basically has unlimited healing when he's in his opponent's games. Like, you will never be able to wear down Chase the Bro over time because he's using Warming Stones, Beastly Vitality, Star Shards, etc., etc. He basically has unlimited FP. And you can see it when the hosts are being passive and stuff. He just makes an edit, and all of a sudden, all of his health and FP's back. But he hasn't lost any flasks. And he's just using Star Shards. And, like, I'm not making this shit up. You can see it clear as day in his videos. He's like, the aura from Star Shards is a one-of-a-kind aura. There's no other effect that looks like that. So you'll see an edit, and then all of a sudden he's glowing blue. It's like, oh, geez, I wonder how that happened. And you can count the weapon arts throughout his videos. Again, I'm not trying to, like, attack him. He's awesome. He's way better at the game than I am. He's better than most people. He's, like, super godly, top-tier Elden Ring player. Like, again, his spacing is, like, is just perfect, right? He's got some of the best spacing I've ever seen. Like, he's a very, 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 very good player. But he is cheating, and as is basically everyone else. It is incredibly rare you find anybody doing, like, hardcore invasions where they're not sustaining themselves with a bunch of fucking star shards and crap. And because when you boil it down, the reason is if the hosts are really nasty and they're got really good stats and they're spamming really hard to deal with weapon arts and stuff, it's really easy to just run out of gas and not be able to kill them. And like, if you're playing legit, you can't sustain swapping between 30 weapons and throwing out a bunch of different weapon arts until you catch them with something. You don't have the FP to do that. And if you bring a bunch of blue flasks, you won't have the healing to stay alive. And again, that's why they're doing it. That's why everyone is fucking cheating and getting 99 or 999 star shards. And again, that doesn't mean they're bad at the game. You know, it doesn't mean they're bad, but they are cheating. And you could say it's on FromSoft for like making the balance, so you basically need to cheat to keep up with some of the bullshit hosts can do. But I mean, that's you hate the game, not, you know, the player. It's not the host's fault that the invaders don't have great options for dealing with some of the bullshit hosts can do. Right? That's the devs' fault. Now, mind you, some of the hosts are cheating too. Very much so. Like, you'll see plenty of hosts in Chase the Bros videos doing the same shit he's doing, right? Like, very, very much so. Why is the host not helping this man? Like, what the shit? That guy had at least some degree of health. This guy did not even entertain the idea of, like, helping that guy out. Oh, we laggy. I need to add the people run emote. The thing is, I get if he doesn't want to fight me head on. Like, if he's not like a PvPer and all that, I get it. But you should have at least fought with your teammate. What is happening right now? And I saw that guy flinching, but he wasn't taking damage. It's either the connection is that bad. Yeah, I think that's the case. Just like super packet loss here. Actually, it's not even packet loss. What? I think he's dead. What is happening? I can't even lock onto him anymore. This is sus, though. This is like, what? He might be just lag switching, because he wasn't even that laggy when he was running around not helping his friend. And he just started getting progressively laggier. And like, what? Yeah, I would not be surprised if that was a lag switch. Like, that was so much more lag than you generally see, even if they're in China. Like, I've invaded loads of people in China, and that kind of lag does not happen. I don't know. You never know. You should not assume malice, but that was weird. That was really weird. Especially because he wasn't fighting back, but then the second it got unbelievably laggy, he started swinging. That's super weird. Right? Like, normally they're just cowards forever and they just keep running. And the fact that he grew a pair the second I was lagging the hell out like that is pretty sus to me. But it could just be a coincidence. Like, there's so many coincidences happen in life, so. But that was fucking weird. He was so newbie, I wouldn't expect him to have a lag switch. But I mean, I don't know. You never know with these fucking people. Some people have lag switch from other games. Like, that was just strange because, like, the Phantom wasn't laggy at all. And the host wasn't lagging when he was running around in circles watching me kill the Phantom. Mom, turn on the microwave. And the weird thing is, it wasn't like packet lossing, because generally that's what you see when they're in China. But, yeah, it makes me sad. I can't even think of a popular YouTuber. Actually, I don't think Saint Riot does any cheating. I don't think he does star shards and shit. Like, I don't think so. Saint Riot's built different, man. I love that guy. His content is so good. It's, like, unreal. But I don't think he cheats, actually. Who attach those swords to those birds? Probably the exile guys out here, I would imagine. But this is kind of what I see from the Elden Ring community and Dark Souls 3. Is you get the really tryhardy guys, and it's not that they're bad at the game. A lot of them are very good at the game. Right? Your G9s, and you know, your chase the bros and stuff. Well, this applies less to chase the bro. But you get these like really sweaty people that play the game a lot and they take it really seriously and they really want to win, and they really want to win. And they cannot accept that, like, because the thing is, if you play legit, you don't have unlimited star shards, you're not item duping, you don't have golem arrows and all these things that, you know, you can't sustain through farming. If you don't have those things, a lot of these insanely good players that are amazing players at the game, but they'll lose, right? Not all the time, of course not, but they'll lose a lot more games, right? Like G9 basically never loses ever, unless they're like the enemies are hacking. But a lot of that is because he's cheating, and he's really good, But if he didn't cheat, instead of winning like 99% of the time, he would win like 85% of the time. And a lot of, I've noticed this very much so, and I when I was younger, I felt this way to an extent. It's a lot of times the reason you'll lose is because there's just cheap bullshit the hosts can do, right? Like 3v1's not fair, and when they do everything to take advantage of it and they play like pussies and really passive, and the host is resummoning, right? And they got like a build that's like designed to be anti-aggro and stuff, right? It's really frustrating and obnoxious to deal with. It is. And you don't want to lose to like these players that are clearly worse at the game than you, just using cheap tactics, using an unfair advantage that the devs give them. I can sympathize to a degree, but that doesn't justify cheating, right? It's part of the game. Like, yeah, it sucks that you can be as good as G9 and lose every once in a while to people that are playing like lamers. You know, you'll just run out of FP, you'll just run out of, you know, options. You're not going to have a way to one-shot them, etc., and you lose every once in a while. But a lot of these tryhards just won't accept it. They won't. They will cheat. They're like, well, I could beat them if I just had star shards and golem arrows and this, that, and the other. And they just won't fucking, they won't let it go, man. They just cannot take a goddamn L. And again, I don't like when I lose to stupid people, right? Or like people that are doing cheap stuff and all that. I'm not happy about it, but I just take it, right? Like I lost earlier today to that guy with golem arrows, right? You just take the L. You can say they're lame and whatnot, but you just move on. You know, I'm not like, oh my god, I have to go get star shards, warming stones, golem arrows, and blah 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 to make sure I don't ever lose to this stuff. Like, it's not worth it. But because if you look at a lot of Chase the Bros games, if he wasn't able to endlessly use Beastly Vitality and constantly switch to new weapon arts, and he's sustaining that with star shards, if he wasn't doing that, he would be fucking losing. And it's not because he's worse than the people he's invading. He's way better than them. It's just there's a lot of cheap, stupid bullshit that can happen when you're in 3v1s and like the host side is really prepared, right? Because sometimes the host side is like, you know, stream sniping or, you know, God knows what else, and they're set up, you know, like super anti-invader style. But yeah, I don't like cheating because it's like if I feel like I have to cheat because they're cheating or something, then like why am I even playing this game, right? Big time. And then if they're not cheating and I'm cheating, right, then I just feel like a dick. Because then you're not really winning, right? And it's like protecting your pride. It's trying to save face, right? It's like deep down, a lot of these people know, like, yeah, I just killed a guy that wasn't cheating in any way, did not have star shards, and I did, and I won because of them, right? I think I just ran by them in that corner there. Was he? Am I crazy? Nope, I'm just blood on the wall. Anyway, but it's like they want to save face. They want to be able to be like, I win every invasion, yada yada. They don't want to lose to those lamers and stuff like that. And like, believe me, I get it. The host can be so lame. It's just unreal. But it does not justify cheating. By the way, I've seen this guy many times. He's using Scarlet Rot and Poison. All twinked out. But he's not a password summon. He's just like a random guy that you can summon that puts his sign down here a lot. But he's got like a really set up character. He does dual lances a lot. But yeah, he was doing Scarlet Rot Poison there. But I have ran into that guy, I'd say like 6 or 7 times throughout my time playing Elden Ring. And he's actually been on, and even on stream, he's been on my side a few times. Because he invades too sometimes. Like he invades, he blues, he co-ops. I remember there was these 2 guys out in Limgrave once. that the host was like really twinked out. I think he used cheat engine to have all the talismans at the start of the game. Had a friend that was a super high level password summon. Arcane, of course, right? Rivers of Blood, and that was before Rivers was nerfed. And they were playing super passive and just being so lame. And then that guy spawned in, and he helped me out and we won. I've just seen that guy so many times. Yeah, people justify cheating with like star shards because you can technically obtain them, but like no one's on New Game Plus, 900. And like even if you were, you would run out. Like, and you're not. What are you gonna do? New Game Plus 900 again? If you wanted to sustain the amount of star shards that like Chase uses and G9 uses and all these people, like you would be constantly having to play Elden Ring like a job and just constantly going through New Game Plus cycles. And it wouldn't even like Jesus, man. Like you'd go hours and hours and only have 15, right? Like in a whole day of work, you'd probably have 15 star shards, and then in a good streaming session, you'd probably use like 30 of them. I mean, it's just not sustainable. And I think it's not supposed to be sustainable. Like I really have to stress this. I'm not trying to say like G9 and Chase the Bro and stuff aren't amazing players. They are. They're insanely good at the game. And I think Chase does it for different reasons than like G9 and a lot of other invaders do. Like I don't think G9 would take offense to this. G9 is a sweaty tryhard, big time, and right. And his ego is in it. I would say like massively. Chase isn't really like that. I think Chase wants to be able to make good YouTube content. I don't think Chase takes it that bad when he does get an L, even if the hosts are being lame and whatnot. Like he just kind of takes it in stride. But I think Chase does the star shard duping and all the other stuff just because it saves time and it allows him to put on a better show, and the viewers want to see him win, and the viewers want to see him switching weapons and using a bunch of wacky weapon arts and eventually getting people with them and so on and so forth. Oh my god, it's another bonfire duelist. Although it's possible this guy also has a phantom in the weight, but this looks very much like a bonfire duelist. Not only that, but he's using a rapier, which is like, really, really meta and 1v1 nonsense. I just headshot that man with fan daggers. I have literally no reason to be aggressive right now because he's not being aggressive and he's got his buff up. So it's like, why would I run into you? I'm surprised that R2 didn't hit. Like, he didn't roll again, so... This guy's literally just mashing, trying to get the bleed. Thankfully, I don't think this guy's very good with thrusting swords. He's not doing a lot of the really hard to deal with stuff. Like, he was pretty much just mashing R1 and whatnot, trying to get the bleed build up. Oh my god, bonfire duelist, dude. And like, 1v1 can be really fun. I actually really dig the 1v1 in Elden Ring, unlike in Dark Souls 3. But go to the arena. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand. They want an unfair advantage. They want to have double flasks if it comes to that. Blah, 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 blah. And obviously the Reds are normally lower level than them. If you go to the arena, you have to fight people that are generally your level. You don't have a flask advantage. So on and so forth. Also, people in the arena have a build that's designed for 1v1ing. Invaders normally have a build designed for 1v3ing, which is just a totally different, like, skill set, and you want different talismans and weapons and weapon arts and, all that kind of stuff. And so when you're bonfire dueling, it's way easier than arena dueling. But it's just kind of fucking lame, so. I mean, the arena's still active when I play it. If you played at like 150 and 125, it's active. Now, if you want to play at like 80 or something, you're not going to get anything. That's certainly true. Like, if you want to play at 60, 80, 30, 50, you're not going to get shit. Maybe like once in a blue moon, but that's because it's not an act. No one wants to really duel at those level ranges generally. Yeah, like at 43, you're not gonna get anything. But you go to 125 or 150, and you're gonna get loads of games. 138 is a really popular range because you kind of get both groups. But yeah, the arena's still pretty active. It's just the competition is really fierce there, man. Like, because everyone you fight in the arena is gonna have a build that's set up to 1v1. Where out here, not at all, right? Like, I'm not optimized for 1v1. Like it's just, you don't really see that out here. Like, invasions are just not designed for dueling, right? And it's like, this is what annoys me. There's so many things that are for dueling, right? Like this thing, right here. But they're not, no one uses these because invaders aren't looking to duel. That's the thing. You know, it's their world and they can do whatever they want, which is fine, right? I'm not saying they should be banned from the game. But first off, almost everyone bonfire dueling is cheating. Right? It's insanely rare you run into anybody that hasn't twinked themselves out and they got all the bullshit consumables and they didn't work for any of that shit. It's very common. And then they also normally get really mad at you if you do whatever you want, right? Like, I'm a real advocate for, if you want to host like a bitch, you can do it. But I can then be a bitch as a red, right? I don't have to run up to you and honor duel you, right? I can hide in the level and pick away at you or just piss you off or whatever, right? Like, if you want to take advantage of the tools FromSoft gives you, fair enough, but the same goes for me, right? FromSoft gives me the compass and you don't get it, and et cetera, right? There's reasons for these things. Like, nobody invades looking to have a shitty, unfair 1v1 with someone that's, like, way stronger than them. And they're optimized for dueling and you're not. Like, no one wants to do that. Like, again, I like 1v1ing, but if I 1v1, I want a 1v1 where I'm optimized for 1v1 and you're optimized for 1v1. And we both have the same amount of flasks, or no flasks. And, you know, no one's got a run arc, and you're not 30 levels higher than me, and so on and so forth, right? Then it's good. I like it. Like, I'm all about it. Like, especially with, like, Claymore. I love Claymore, and Claymore is just more fun in a duel. Because that's when you get to do the like, mix-up stuff with, like, you know, you landed an R1, and so you think they're going to trade, and they're going to start mashing R1, so then you do your R2. Or you think they're going to, you know, roll spam, so you try to do a delayed R2 to roll catch them. Stuff, you know, that's fun, right? I really enjoy that stuff. And you don't get a lot of that in an invasion because you hit a guy and then his teammates start R1 spamming and you have to roll out, right? You're not getting a lot of mix up here. Are they like trading items or something? I want to get a gravity kill, but I don't know if these guys are gonna move out at all. We'll give them a second. We'll see here. So another guy using a battle axe, that poor soul. It is so crazy how much better the straight sword and katana are than the standard axe. It is just so unfair. It's like, I just don't think From gives a shit, right? Like, they like katanas. They like, yeah, he's getting items from his buddy here. Get all twinked out. But you know, they put all this like effort into making sure katanas are really good and have a great move set. Same for straight swords and so on and so forth. But then axes, they don't give a shit. I mean, last I checked the player count, which was today, there were 50,000 people playing, so... Yeah, there's never been a FromSoft game where katanas aren't good. Fuck, I messed up my, my shit there. Not a lot of health on that guy. Not a lot of health on that guy either. Kind of weird that that guy was password summon and not a lot of health there. Yep, it's because in fiction, hammers, maces, and axes absolutely are portrayed as unskilled barbarian weapons, 100%. Which is so factually wrong, it is very aggravating. I think a lot of that comes from the fact that you have axes that aren't really meant for war, like a working axe, but they could still be used in war. So poor people and like militia and stuff would sometimes use those, and they would be less skilled, obviously. But that's not a battle axe. That's a wood cutting axe, shit like that, and it happens to be, you know, useful on the battlefield to a certain extent as well. Where a battle axe is a completely different animal. And generally speaking, proper battle axes were reserved for elite troops because they were much harder to wield. It's much easier to teach someone how to hold a spear out and hack with a sword and shit like that than it is to use an axe properly. Axes are not easy to use, contrary to popular belief. They require just a lot of knowledge of momentum and weight and those kinds of things. And using the more like advanced tactics, like trying to hook the enemy's weapon to disarm them and things like that, it's not easy to do. It's not easy to do at all. But unfortunately, axes just have this reputation of being the brute's weapon when they're actually generally the elite weapon. They're also actually useful. We're like, it's the opposite of what happened to scythe. Yeah, absolutely. Because scythes are a farming tool. There's no war variant of a scythe, right? It is just a farming tool. And granted, coincidentally, it is decent enough in combat. It's nowhere near as good as a halberd or a glaive or a spear. Like, absolutely not. But if you're a farmer and you just simply have no access to those weapons, right, and you've got a scythe, right, it is somewhat useful. But yeah, there is no war variant of a scythe. It is only a farming tool. Where axes just coincidentally have a lot of work applications, but then they're a very masterful combat tool, and it just blows that they just got this reputation that they're a brute weapon, but it's the complete opposite. You generally, if you had a bunch of brutes in your army, you wouldn't give them axes, you'd give them spears. And there's just so many examples of history of very skillful people using axes. An example me and my brother really like was there was this okay. Anyway, there was this like mercenary group that all used Dane axes, which was for its time was an insanely good weapon, and it even lasted into later ages because it was so good. And these guys were really feared on the battlefield. They were quite famous, and they're even like depicted in some like famous murals and stuff. And not only did they all use axes, but what is happening? But they all trained to be left-handed. So you'd have to fight this like unit of mercenaries that were all all trained to be left-handed. And the reason they did that is because it's awkward as fuck to fight somebody. Most people were used to fighting people like shield in the left hand, weapon in the right hand, but they were all the other way around. And it was so awkward to fight them. And these guys were all really skilled as well. And yeah, they wrecked face. Like they were quite potent. But yeah, you just don't get that kind of shit in video games. Why are all these phantoms killing themselves? I don't understand. Alright, whatever. He doesn't even have phantoms with him, so let's not just wait around. Like, fuck it. Better off just getting to a different game. I mean, maybe there's a second phantom here. Maybe this is like a joke meme thing. I don't know. It's a shame I'm not using a status effect, because I've got enough phantom hits that I would have it. I don't know what the hell that was, dude. And like, they'd already killed all the mobs in here. Well, not all of them. They killed the bow guys. I think that guy wanted to be invaded. I really do. Because it's just so weird to have killed those bowman guys and be hanging at the bonfire like that. And like, even though he wasn't like that good, he plays like almost every greatsword user that does PvP. Like, he's not the next level where he really understands how to use it, but he was doing the whole roll away, try to get you to like run at him in a way that he could roll away and do the poke at you. And then like swing when he thinks you're gonna swing to try to hit trade. Like, he was doing all the like stuff that people do that, not to be a dick, but they're not that good at PvP, but they are trying to like, they think they're good because greatsword shit, right? It's he was doing all that stuff. Like, his movement was like someone that does PvP, not necessarily as good at it, but that was not like some PvE scrub. So it's like, I think I don't know why though, all the phantoms were just jumping off. I guess those were his friends. I don't know, that was so strange. Yeah, the whole thing with greatsword is it's mind games on, you try to figure out when they want to swing, and then the person not using greatsword tries to figure out when they're trying to trade, and you don't swing then, and then you swing right after or right before. I ultimately hate fighting greatsword though, because it's actually really RNG. If both players are good, there's just a lot of like guesswork, and that's true always to an extent. Like, but generally, like at neutral, it's not that much guesswork. It's a lot of like decisions, and then after someone lands a hit, then there's some like RNG, like fighting game stuff. But greatsword is almost entirely just guessing what the other person's going to do constantly, and then normally it's in the greatsword's favor where they don't have to guess right nearly as much, especially at lower level, and it's just really fucking annoying. Like, I never really enjoy fighting greatswords. I think they're actually my least favorite weapon to fight. Especially when people know what they're doing, and like, I beat people that are using them all the time. But I've certainly lost to people using them too. But like in the arena, when it's like more tryhardy, it's just not fun. Like, it's got nothing to do with winning and losing. It's just not a fun weapon to fight. Like, oh, you rolled away and did the rolling attack. Oh, then you rolled away twice and then you did the rolling attack. Oh, you delayed the R1 this time. Like, it's just, it's so. The thing I don't like about it is greatsword does not reward precision. It rewards just guessing, right? Like, it's so easy mode with the hyper armor and the hitbox and that kind of thing. Why is my game glitching the hell out? But it's like, the R1 is the correct answer to almost anything the opponent did, right? It doesn't matter if they jumping attacked, or if the R1'd, or the R2'd, or the delay R2'd, or the delay R1'd, or the weapon arted. It doesn't matter, right? The R1 beats all of it, right? It's like, if you're using most weapons and then they just swing at the right time, it will beat almost anything you did. So instead of like, that's always a threat to a degree with any weapon, like trying to figure out when they're going to swing. But then there's also the decisions of, well, whose hyper armor's right here, who, you know, et cetera, et cetera. It's not like spear, you know, R1 beats everything. It doesn't. Although spears are really annoying too, but that's for a really different reason. Where with greatsword, it's just like, okay, well, their swing beats basically everything ever, unless you're also using an ultra big boy sword. And then so it doesn't matter if I R2. It doesn't matter if I R1. It doesn't matter if I weapon art. It doesn't matter if I delay R2. Right? All that matters is that I don't swing when they swing. And that's it, right? That's literally it, right? I just think that's so much less fun than almost any other weapon matchup. And then also, if you do guess wrong, you know, it's just so punishing. Damn, I didn't get that angle right. And then that guy panicked and fell off. Well done. Got it. That guy was... Oh, no, now he's coming. Not quite. Oh, the veteran armor. Although some people really hate the way the veteran armor looks, and I know it's like super meta, so you see it all the time for like tryhards. But I don't think it looks that bad. I think the helmet looks kind of bad. But what I really like fashion-wise is this, or this. I'm not using it right now on this character because some of the heavier weapons I switched to, it'll fuck it up. Like, I actually don't like this combo that much. This helmet doesn't really look that good. But these are like like ever so slightly too heavy for I think dismounter. I think definitely this thing. But I think they might be too heavy for dismounter. Though I'm not really using dismounted right now, so if I wanted to do, let me get an invasion. Let me look again, like what I can actually equip. But yeah, I know there's a lot of, like min-maxy stuff you see all the time that, I kind of like, though, like the Banished Knight chest with the, no, not Banished Knight chest, Veteran chest with the Banished Knight hood helmet. I think because they're both red. I think it actually looks kind of cool. Oh yeah, I pretty much have everything. I just don't use a lot of it because I try not to be overly min-max when I'm invading at lower level. Obviously at higher level, I don't give a shit. But, you know, because a lot of these hosts aren't exactly equipped, I try to intentionally be a little... I try to bring good armor so I'm not screwing myself, but I try not to bring like super min-maxy stuff so I'm not like too strong for the host. That's also why when I notice I try to like unequip some of my equipment like I did earlier when I like 1v1 somebody that's like terribly undergeared. Because here's the thing, I'm probably gonna beat them because I've played the game a lot more than them. But nobody wants to fight a red where they're at such a stat disadvantage they can't win even if they did happen to play well. Right? I don't want to be that guy where maybe I kill his Phantom and then I'm 1v1ing a host where I'm so much tankier than him and I'm doing so much more damage than him, he'd have to play like 20 times better than me to beat me, right? That's depressing, right? And that doesn't encourage them to want to keep playing the game or like do PvP stuff. So I try, especially when the Phantoms are dead and if it's like not a piece of shit host, to just like unequip stuff and like be like more around their power level range. That way, again, I'm probably gonna beat him anyway because I've played the game so much more. But that way, when they land a hit on me, it's not like, oh my god, I could never kill this guy. Right? Because that's just demoralizing. Wait, are they already down below? Oh shit, yeah, I think these guys are already down below. That means if they start losing, they'll just run to the boss. Oh, maybe not, we'll see. Oh god, please don't be a bonfire duelist. Although this wouldn't really be that situation because we're in a dungeon, but I don't know what weapon to use right here. Maybe he's got oh. Just bad teamwork is what that was. Yeah, this character has most of the stuff. Although maybe this character doesn't have Banished Knight. Oh, no, I have Banished Knight. I'm wearing it, obviously. I might not have, because this character is old. I may have done the glitch to get down there. Let me see. Yeah, I actually don't think this character has Veteran. I can get it, though. This boss isn't too scary, even at low level. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm not trying to PvE, but I want to just go look if, what's a good level to stop at? Well, what's the goal, right? Like, that affects a lot. Like, what if you're wanting to co-op, if you're wanting to invade, arena, DLC, right? Like, wait, why did I even go that way? DLC, I would go like 120, I think, to 150. That I suspect. Yep, I have not done this boss yet. Okay, I'll need to do that. But I suspect that's going to be about right, because that's kind of where it's about right to do like Melania and that kind of stuff. And it sounds like that's the power level range they're aiming for. That's pretty much what Miyazaki said in the interview. So, like, what I would do is maybe go 100, 120, 150, whatever you feel like. Maybe have a chunk of souls. Maybe some soul items in your inventory or whatever, in case you're like, oh shit, maybe you should be a little bit higher, right? But then you're not going to be too high. Wait, where am I should just leave here. What am I doing? Well, if you're on New Game Plus, right, then I don't even think it matters. As a New Game Plus, you could probably be like 200 or whatever, and it'll be fine. Oh shit, you're at what level are you if you're at +9 and then you're above that? That's crazy. I don't think I've ever heard of somebody outside of like trolling and stuff. I don't think I've ever heard of somebody that's like over 100 and is only at +9. That's crazy. Why can I not teleport? There we go. Although I guess if you do every bit of side content ever, you probably would be a lot higher level. Yeah, veteran armor gets a lot of hate because it's a very common set, the chest piece especially, for like super min-maxy twinks and stuff. But if you like it, I always say use it anyway. And I think it looks pretty cool, so. So many people say it's so super ugly. And they're like, anyone using it is just using it to min-max, but I don't think that's true. I think there's people that legitimately just like it. I mean, like, hell, I like it, so. 508? Jesus Christ, how are you at +9 at fucking 508? Dear God, my man. Hardly anybody makes it past 200 because like the leveling slows down so much. You must be. Oh, are you saying you're on +9 as in new game +9? That makes so much more sense now. I was so confused. You were like blowing my mind, but I see. You must have meant new game. You're on new game +9. You're probably fine then because the DLC will be hard as balls at it caps at +7, but yeah, if you want to do the DLC at 500, that's fine. If you're on new game +9, I don't think that's a problem. Like, it might be a little bit easier, it might be a little bit harder. It's hard to say. New game cycles get pretty weird with the stats and stuff. You're probably going to kill the bosses faster, right, than like a normal player would going through it. But you'll probably also die faster than a normal player going through it, I would suspect. Oh, I put that in the wrong hand. Okay. Got the boys. Definitely password summons. Come on, chat. We've had a lot of failed gravity today. Oh my god, I jerked the stick too far. God damn it, man. That was such a fuck up. Oh, we got a double. I don't know why they waited around at the top like that. I don't understand. Like, they saw the lightning. I fucked that up, man. I jerked the stick way too far there. I was like way farther up the path than I meant. It worked out though. We got a double. Too bad we didn't get a triple, but the other guy was for some reason just standing around doing nothing. I don't know what that was. Triples are rare, but we've had a few. Oh yeah, I need to invade and actually look if I can, like, what can I have equipped here? I mean, I know I can't have the dismounter and stuff. Out of these 3 helmets, so this one, and this one, this is my least favorite. But it's the lightest, so it like works the best when I want to switch weapons and stuff. Like these 2 I really like. I love this look. I'll probably be using some variation of this when I do the DLC. New Game Plus caps at 7, actually. You can go beyond that, right? You're allowed to go to 9, 10, 20, 30, whatever you want, but it won't get any harder. And you won't get any more souls from killing enemies. But yeah, if it was me, if I was going to make it, which I probably am, you know, if I make a character specifically for the DLC, I'm probably going to be in that 100 to 150-ish range. Because I suspect that's where the enemies are going to be balanced, because it sounds like the enemies are going to be balanced around, like, the Millennia in-game, you know, power range. And also, I suspect the other players are going to be like that. So if you want to get co-op and PvP and stuff, that's where you're going to be seeing it. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is that other mercenary character I got, I'm going to take them to maybe 120, 130, whatever. We'll go Strength Faith. The question is, do I go... Because Strength Faith can go 2 ways. You can go where you get the minimum strength to use the weapons you want, and then you imbue them with, like, lightning and that kind of stuff. And then you have really high faith, and then if you do miracles, they're crazy, crazy strong. Or you go a lot more into strength, and you get that big boy strength, like 2-handing damage and stuff. And then you just get enough faith to get, like, the utility that you want from faith. So, I don't know which one we'll do. I'm not gonna lie, I really want to get that sword, the holy sword out here, and see what the stats on that are, because I wouldn't mind trying that thing out. I've never used it. On all my characters, I've never used it. I've never done faith strength, weirdly enough. But yeah, I'm definitely doing that. I think this is going to be our DLC character. So somewhere between 100 and like 120, 150, whatever. It'll kind of just depend on like how many points do I need in faith. I think will dictate what level we want to be. We're definitely going in with Flame Cleanse Me though, because I'm sure there's going to be debuffs. I am so looking forward to this now though. I think playing Faith Strength is going to be super fun. Yeah. The lightsaber? No, the not that's you know in here. The great sword the Radigan great sword or whatever that used to be like a Dark Moon blade and he turned it into like a holy relic or whatever. I'm kind of curious what that'll be like because I've never used it and I think that'll be a fun one. But Faith Strength gets to use so many items. It's almost overwhelming what weapons you can use. So yeah, we'll see. Anyways, chat, I think I'm gonna wrap up here. It's getting later and the invasions are slowing down and whatnot. But yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to the DLC. The aesthetic's not exactly my taste though, but we'll see what happens. What I just got here feels bad. Well, maybe we can play Baldur's Gate Poi. We'll see if the boys are up for it. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. We will raid Cairo. And I will see you guys later. Take care. Although, wait a minute. I really should check, see who's streaming. I like never do this. It takes too many clicks. Fuck it. We'll just raid in Cairo. Anyways, see you guys.